Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Bunchcast. Today you're joined by me, Kips, Hands.
He's muted.
He would say hi. Reggie.
I don't know if he would.
Hello.
And Chumba.
Hello.
Hello. He doesn't say my name right.
He's a grape, by the way, Chatfish. Referred to him as Grape Boy. That's his name.
So today we've got a lot of things to go through, and one of those things is not that image.
He also still isn't streaming.
Yeah, we still can't
Discord.
see it.
I set up the
We
music
don't even know if
this
he's
time.
playing the music.
I
though.
did. Listen,
Is it looping?
I can only do one thing right at a time. That's what
Yes,
I've
yeah.
decided.
You're obliged to fuck up at least one other thing.
Yep, that's tradition on this channel. It's tradition. Green Branch gifts a
Technical
membership.
difficulties.
Now, chat. If we make a... You know what? No, we're not going to talk about the proposition right now. Let's get into the meat of the subjects, because there's so many to get through, and I want to make sure we get through them in time. I twisted my neck yesterday, so bear in mind that that's going to be a little bit of an annoyance.
Annoying.
Welcome, Stream Grunch, Gregors, Dev, Sinistro Corpsman? Fuck, whatever, close enough. We're gonna call you Sinuses. He's like, damn it. Hope you've all had a great week. We've had a pretty good week this so far. Language is hard for me. But today we're going to talk about a lot of things, and not that image. I don't know why I keep scrolling down to that.
Harlan also gifted a membership before the stream started.
Oh, he did? Well, thank you for the gifted membership. Very generous, Harlot. Very much appreciated, good sir.
Also, Kip, his name is Sinestro Corpman after the character from the Green Lantern comics.
Shut up, Squealy.
Yeah. I'm glad you're just like, shut up, Squealy. Like, somebody had to put him in his place.
Character in that entire series is the red cat that the cat that entered the Red Lantern Corps because its owner was killed and it wanted revenge. That's the best character.
Angie Kitty. You can't stop being Angie.
It's true.
All right, let's see. We've got
You need to be
two...
part of the set.
All right, Pork Chops, 1
You
second.
keep scrolling down.
Yeah, I keep looking at that fucking picture. It's just, it's got a very
Scroll
good...
down. You know you want show Chatfish fully so you can get it out of your system.
Thank you for
Ad block.
opening all this shit, computer. All this random garbage, because I, for whatever reason, defaulted back to Internet Edge again. Which, I don't know why it does that. So today we're going to talk about, firstly, Doom Dark Age. Now, Doom Dark Age did launch, and we did complete this game on Nightmare difficulty, and it was a rather fun game, I would say. However, it's $70, and after taking about 24.3 hours to complete, I kind of feel like, because I had to buy the $100 version for the 2-day early access as a streamer tax as we call it, I kind of have this bitter aftertaste in my mouth where I'm like, I really didn't quite enjoy this. Like, I didn't enjoy the price, if that makes sense. I enjoyed this game, but I wish it was like $40 or $50. And I think that is something that we should talk about, because this game is not doing well, and there's a couple of factors as to why that is. Now, relatively recently, Oblivion actually relaunched it with a massive like remaster drop. Then we also had Expedition 33, which is another massive single-player game success. And now we have Doom Dark Ages launched by id Software, published by Bethesda, which is under the umbrella of Microsoft. And Doom Dark Ages isn't quite singing like the other two games are. It's kind of just not really catching on. It's got like 30,000 peak players. Now we're going to have to see how those peak players go out through the weekend. If I could have you quickly open up the Rapier, for how many players are currently playing, because its peak hours like 30k while we were playing it, and that was during its like launch. So there wasn't a lot of excitement here to get this game, and a part of me secretly, not so secretly, hopes that the major reason for this was due to the fact that it was $70, and $70 is a ludicrously large sum of money, like a ludicrously large sum of money to ask for a game. Games, we were told a long time ago, about a decade and a half ago, that they would be going down in price as time went on, not going up due to the fact that they wouldn't have to print boxes, they wouldn't have to ship them, they wouldn't have to store them in stores, and it would be just all around simpler to produce games because all they had to do was upload a file, and that file had to be distributed. And that was pretty much it. You buy your digital game, you download it, bada bing, bada bam, bada boom, you're done. You have to worry about disk wear tear. Now, I personally prefer physical copies, but there are benefits for both, right? But the benefits that were promised or alleged of digital had never really materialized beyond, well, you don't have to worry about scratching your disk, you know? because it's technically stored in the cloud. You can
There's
just
no-
download it.
There's no disc to begin with now. At some point,
Now, BSS
If-
brings
if-
up a great point too. A very great point. So the PC market's a bit different, but on the console market, it's also different because it's under Microsoft's umbrella. BSS points out that console peasants aren't... Wow, using slurs, are we? Great idea. He says console peasants aren't buying it because it's on Game Pass. That's true. That's absolutely correct. And a part of me wonders if that the Game Pass thing is actually losing the money on the end, or...
Here's the thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Game Pass is potentially great for basically the one hosting all that, but that doesn't mean that the devs necessarily see that much money because people are playing it on Game Pass.
Yep, they get a flat sum from Microsoft for putting it on Game Pass, but that's it. And then Microsoft reaps all the small incremental fees from people purchasing Game Pass. That's how they usually do it. A lot of indies
functionally-
regret doing Game Pass, as far as I know.
functionally, you'd think that people would just put it on Game Pass long after it's actually has life cycle, so
Yeah.
future players could potentially see it and find it.
Now I don't know if we can say just lay the blame on. Oh, it's on Game Pass, so not many people are buying it because
No, I'm
I've
not.
heard it's Expedition 33 was also on Game Pass. I heard, which I will double check that quick.
That's if so. What about because what about Oblivion? Both those games did remarkably
Under
well.
Bethesda.
Now the PC
Well, no,
market
not
usually
both.
buys games and usually doesn't do the subscription service. I
Yes, it was.
personally detest the idea of Game Pass because I don't like the idea of renting games. I never have. My dad hated it even when I was a kid, so I was growing up with the idea that you own your games. Hence why my wall is covered in wall of physical video games to the point where I've got multiple shelves that line the entire apartment of video games and movies. Because physical is
Didn't-
just better.
Didn't the music creator also leave the project?
Mick Gordon? Yes, he did. He left the project because he felt very much betrayed. Because of how
nice.
they handled his music in Eternal, which basically there was a butchery. Doom Eternal, regardless of whether you like it or you don't like it, doesn't really matter. What they did to Mick Gordon and Doom Eternal was actually quite unfair. And as a creator, having your work besmirched and basically run through the mud is never something you really want to see. Also, welcome to Stream Grumpy, Chris Pan, and Frank Schellingert, Gregors, Grunch, I already said that, Kaio Kitsune. Hope you're all having a fantastic week. I twisted my neck yesterday, and so it hurts like a son of a bitch. So if I sound mad and agitated, and I was a little mad and agitated the other day, I'm going to apologize now. I don't know if nobody ever complained about me doing it, but I felt bad about it going to bed because my neck hurt probably. But
Don't worry. If that's your concern, I'll just randomly accuse you of being grumpy.
I just felt angry, and so I felt a little snappy yesterday because I twisted my neck, and I still feel a little snappy, and I'm trying to stay positive, but it hurts. So the Unexpected has been a member for 27 months and says, "Hello everyone, been a while." That's true. It's quite unexpected of you to return. Did you guys hear Ubisoft is selling games at 50% off? Even does extra discounts now in desperation. #SF, #Rapier's Choice. That's a rather fascinating turn of events. I've actually heard that they're not doing very well, which is very, very...
I wonder why.
good.
It's almost like
Fuzzy,
a recent game of theirs.
Whenever
bombed.
he's able to show up once to talk about
Yes.
that, actually.
So Fuzzy is one of our other guests that will be showing up today. He really wants to talk about this subject because he did a lot of research into it, but he's running a little bit behind, so we're gonna wait to cover that subject until he gets here. Because,
Fuzzy's one of those people that likes to get into the weeds of all that stuff.
yes, he really likes to get
I've-
into the business number stuff. We have to control
On
him
Duke
sometimes.
Dark Ages, I have
Goddamn
double checked the Steam
Right.
charts.
Yeah.
It's got a slight increase in player numbers, but it's not really
It's
much.
not like
It's like
a-
1,000 extra players since its other
yeah,
previous
that's
peak.
not really a boost that I think would be considering this is a new game still, right?
Mhm.
You think it would have more than just an additional 1,000 players?
Yeah, going into Saturday, and it's the chart itself is just the incline looks like it's already leveling out.
It's leveling out. That's not good. You know
It
what's
looks
funny?
like it's going up slightly.
So what's really interesting is that this game is $70. Now this game just dropped, and Helldivers is actually out-competing it. I was worried that Helldivers... So something rather fascinating is happening right before our eyes. Helldivers 2 is doing a multi-faceted launch of a series of large content updates for their game. Now their game is only $40, which is you know, not that much, and compared to a $70 game, and is actually seeing a vast amount of sales, 4,571 recent reviews, eating into potentially Doom Eternal sales a bit here as well, because as it turns out, a lot of people are really getting into it, and Helldivers staggered patch content basically meant they staggered out patches while Doom Eternal was launching, and there's a really big Siege of Super Earth patch coming, which adds mega cities and city street battles and NPCs fighting and stuff like that. And what's interesting about that is that I was thinking that Doom Dark Age was going to snuff out the Helldivers patch. I was wrong completely. Helldivers 2 is snuffing out Doom Dark Age. It's literally looking like a Dark Age for Doom. But the big problem here is, I think, again, down to the pricing factor. Like, if it wasn't so gosh darn expensive, like, that would definitely help this game's performance. Now, a lot of them are buying it on Game Pass. Thank you, Steam, for doing that to me. Really, really appreciate it. Ah, Internet Edge is very, very broken. I need to set that up so it doesn't use that shit anymore.
Internet Edge.
The issue is, like, anytime it updates, it's like, do you want to make this your primary
I think
browser?
I misclicked, yeah. That's a problem.
Yes,
I'm actually bad at Windows because I shut it down last night. It forced through an update when I didn't want it to.
Oh, my stream PC wants to update. So if our stream cuts for whatever reason, it's because of that. So I'm sorry. I
Skills stream.
I hope it
'cause
doesn't.
Windows update.
Okay, I'm gonna click on it. And I'm gonna tell it not to do it.
Ever. Never
You
update.
can't do
I
that.
will force an update in like 3 hours then.
Schedule.
Can you do it like next year? How about tomorrow?
I set up
In-
its update window
12 o'clock.
to basically be only like a handful of hours. And it's always when like I'm guaranteed to be asleep, so the computer's not on.
I said
Good night,
Friday.
Moogie.
That'll give me
Everyone
plenty of time to
knows.
update it. There we go. Now it shouldn't fucking update it while we're streaming. Okay, there we go. I was very careful with clicking because I don't know about Windows 11 or Windows 10. I've got Windows 11 on this PC, Windows 10 on that one, and I hate both of them. Take care, Moogie. All right, so, and really quickly, I'm going to show you guys a leaked. Oh my God, can I just play through here, please?
It's gonna get an ad.
One thing is clear.
No.
Nice.
Yeah, it always has an ad when you start.
All right, fine. I'll do it the headache way. Hold on a second. Just open it through here. I hate Windows. I hate Windows. I hate Windows. I hate Windows. I hate Windows.
I've tried that myself, night motorcyclist, and after a couple
Okay.
days, it turned itself back on.
I know. I got rid of it, Chad. I got rid of it. All right, so this is some leaked footage, about 5 minutes of leaked footage. We're going to take a quick glimpse at this, and it's really interesting to see. I'll say that much.
I like how they mirrored the
You
image.
can talk over, by the way. So one thing we notice here is that, God damn it. There we go. Thank you. They did mirror the image. I think they did that because they're worried that it's going to get taken down.
Yes, that's usually the go-to to
Well,
make sure it doesn't get
bots
taken.
won't grab it, but real people will.
Yep, real people will.
They'll probably
Like
be
we
looking
did.
for it.
So the big thing here is that you'll notice that there is take down over ship. I had to read that backwards, okay? I was expecting to do that.
You already struggle to read. This is it.
Gibbs reads it, looks at chat. Please clap.
These are called city missions. I have to read them backwards, okay? Listen, chat. Patience. Patience with me, chat bros. So these mega cities are supposed to be on multiple planets now, so that they're going to be common. Here we can see that this city is actually north of Thailand and stuff like that. It's over by oh no, that's China. Yeah, that's the Chinese, right? Yeah.
Is it?
The world's flipped around. That's why. Yeah, because this is Thailand. This is that little weird bit that goes there. That's Taiwan. That's the little Chinese chunk that hangs off the side. And yeah, so we're gonna go through this real quickly because this is huge. Like the amount of content. I think Helldivers 2 is honestly gonna get Game of the Year again, or not necessarily because it launched, but like awards for being like there. So the mega cities look spectacular. Like they're huge. But what's
Hopefully they don't have the
more
same issues.
interesting, way more interesting than the mega cities, is not necessarily the mega cities themselves, but rather what you're going to see happening inside of the mega cities. you're going to notice that there's going to be like NPCs and stuff. Now I'm going to skip a little bit ahead so we can get to the meat of this, because otherwise it's going to meander, and I did save timestamps in my head. Here at the 2-minute mark, what do you see?
Human.
There's actually NPC infighting now.
Well, it's not really infighting. They're on your side.
So I
yeah,
saw
they're on
a
your side,
theory about the about the 1-2 flag
They're
call-in.
really bad at aiming, by the way, but yeah. They're really...
I saw a theory which I hope turns out to be true. People are speculating now that that flag might give a buff to friendly NPCs if you have it, or you plant it near them.
That'd be cool. There's also a leaked stratagem that involves you being able to call in NPC reinforcements.
NPCs, you mean meat shield? Yes.
But yeah, so urban megacities are going to be added. And why I point this out, right? How do you guys feel about this? Is this kind of interesting or exciting to you? And it's okay if it's not. It's
I'm
no big
excited.
issue.
It's been a facet of the game that they haven't really, well, they've been working on for a good while now. Because we've seen that they've been building into more claustrophobic environments like this, rather than just open plains that we got from the initial launch of the game.
More variety.
Because when Helldivers launched, it was just open plains and jungles for the most part.
The jungle was
That's
the
all we
first
really got.
biome, yep. Followed by the urban environments of the towns and stuff, which was really refreshing. But then we haven't gotten any new environments since. But now the megacities are the next environment. Now, another bit of leaked information is the capital worlds for all 3 factions is starting to leak, but they don't have their cities yet. But it does look like they're actually going to start putting in the capital worlds. So they're coming soon. That's the next thing. Which means that they might actually have us push to a capital world and wipe out a faction in this war. Maybe. I'm not sure. Big if true. Highly speculative,
So,
but yeah.
Hands donates $50 through PayPal
Holy
and
shit.
says, for the Harkonnen.
Thank you for your generous
Appreciate
donation, Hands. House Harkonnen has gained more support while we're streaming. That's kind of nuts. My squad of
Yes.
NPC helpers would make fights a lot more interesting, says Cognito Occultrum. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think that would be really cool. And the fact that there's a stratagem where you can call in NPCs that was leaked at the launch of this game, and it's in the base files, suggests to me that you're going to be able to call in NPC soldiers to help you out in tough battles and fights. I'm actually hoping that they can help crew vehicles and turret emplacements.
Not sure about that, but like they'd be able to call in. I remember seeing a while ago
Here,
leak of literally them
Look.
getting dropped in.
we have AT squads with EATs on their backs, EATs. So we saw radio troopers. We've seen regular troopers with standard Liberator rifles. We've seen AT infantry. In the leaked files, there was LMG infantry as well. So there's different types of classes of infantry. There are even civilians that run around in these city battles and stuff. So yeah, it's looking very, very promising overall.
Every civilian should have a constitution.
They should be armed. Yes, I 100% agree.
Well, every citizen is given a constitution.
They should be armed. You know why? Because Super Earth is super awesome. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Just like,
Wrong with Jim Kasovic.
welcome to the stream. If you're not having a good day, you'll be destroyed. He's like, what? But yes, back to our point though. So, Doom Dark Age came out and is not doing very well. It's $70, right? And it's just kind of expensive. And it's not like, it was a really fun game and I really enjoyed it, and I recommend that you pick it up for like 30, 40 bucks or whatever, but it's not worth picking up now. And here we have Helldivers 2 just slam dunking, what I call. This is going to drop in a few days, as far as I'm aware. This big patch for the Mega City battles. So that's going to be insane. Like, absolutely insane. So I'm really looking forward to that. And what I find rather fascinating here is that a single-player game went toe-to-toe with a live service game and lost. Now, it's a bit more complicated than that, right? Doom Dark Age has no multiplayer, no co-op functionality. Multiplayer games usually, if they're in the limelight, will outdo things. Helldivers 2 has remained in the zeitgeist of games forever, for whatever reason. I think it's down entirely to Arrowhead being the only company competent competent enough to actually produce a live service game. Every live service game that had come before Helldivers 2 had middling success. None can really quite hold a candle. Dash Attack has been a member for 10 months. Thank you for the long-term support, and says, I think Doom, The Dark Ages is great. I'm at the halfway point, but yeah, it doesn't have the hype Eternal had. Love the shield. Thank you for your long-term support.
Well, the thing is, we're not even saying that it's a bad game.
Mhm.
It's just, for what it is,
Actually,
is really expensive.
So what's interesting is I personally think Doom Dark Ages is better than Eternal. I think Doom Dark Ages is fucking my favorite. I don't know if anyone watched the streams we did of it, but like I really love how combat feels like.
You
running in and
definitely
getting
engaged
stuck
with
in.
it a lot more than Eternal, I'll put it that way.
Yes,
Gibbs is one of the few people who played it who seemed to engage
with the mechanics. I know.
actively with the mechanics. Made the game actually look a lot of
And
fun.
chat, we all know how Kibbs and game mechanics get along.
I
Not at
normally
all.
Yeah.
so if I must confess, because I'm not perfect. I know it shocks me too, chat.
Hard to believe.
Hard to believe. Can't wrap my head around that concept. But the big thing here is that if I'm into a game, like I'll get really into it. If I'm struggling to get into a game, I'll usually do what I call sprinting. Sprinting is basically where I'm playing a game and like I don't want to be here. I'm just gonna sprint through this as fast as I can, and that has middling degrees of success, right? Doom Eternal, I sprinted through about halfway through because I didn't want to play it anymore. Because Doom Eternal just didn't really click with me. Doom Dark Ages clicks with me on a level that I really, really, really like in a lot of ways. And I really, really enjoy it. And it actually breaks my heart a little bit that this game isn't going to be very successful. However, at the same time, it is what it is. It's not going to be as successful because of the whole Microsoft Pass or Game Pass factor. The fact that, Oblivion and Expedition 33 released earlier. The fact that it's $70. The fact that Helldivers 2's got a new content drop that looks amazing, so a lot of people are nagging their friends to probably play it with them. So there's so many things pulling people in different directions that the amount of people that are going to pick up Doom Dark Ages are going to be very small. Mick Gordon could have added to the game. Yeah, them losing Mick Gordon also probably lost a few people. I don't think it's as big of a number that people expect. But yeah, Mick Gordon, losing the composer Mick Gordon, regardless of whether you think BFG Division or his music is overrated or not, it goes without a doubt, without a saying, for a fact, that a lot of people really appreciate Mick Gordon's musical composition work. And so without him, that's just another blow to Doom Dark Ages that is just hits it. And it hits it pretty hard. And that's unfortunate because the game is a good game. I feel bad for this game. And the reason why I feel bad for it is because it's $70. Like, if I wasn't a streamer, I would never fucking pay for that shit. Like, honestly, I had to pay for the $100 version because of the stream tax thing. And while I really enjoyed my time in Doom Dark Ages, and I've had a lot of fun streaming it and playing with you guys, I still feel robbed.
Yeah.
Easy overspent a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
Two things. Helldivers has been able to stay like in the limelight so long, primarily due to two factors, and one leads into the other. When playing the game and watching it, it is extremely cinematic, and because of that, and the community around it, it's a non-stop source of memes that people keep posting, making new ones, and so like it's getting people are constantly seeing Helldivers.
Yeah.
Now with Doom, another reason it has not doing well, and I said this a bit before stream, it has a problem of it's not building off of Eternal. So the people who liked New Doom, you had 2016, and then Eternal built off of 2016 a bit, and they took it like in a more focused a lot more on mobility and stuff. Some people really liked that. Doom Dark Ages goes back to 2016 mechanics and takes it in a different direction. So the new people who like the newer Dooms aren't interested because it's a different direction of the game. They got into Eternal because of the way it was about mobility. Dark Ages isn't. So they're not interested. The people who would be interested, because for the more standard, like that's a new audience for Doom. And the price point means that most people aren't going to want to get it unless it's on sale. So the core audience that they built up with the previous 2 games doesn't really appeal. The game doesn't really appeal to them.
Yep. It also means that people are going to go back to play 2016 or Eternal, because Eternal's like $40 and 2016's $20.
It's like I said, it's like
You'll scratch that itch
when
with
I was-
those, yeah.
when I was watching Kibbs play, it's like for a second, it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go buy, and then I looked at the price, like, right, that's right, I
I'm
forgot
gonna go
about.
play the older games because I
Yeah.
can't afford a new one.
I'm gonna
Oh,
wait,
no.
yeah.
Here's the thing: do I have the money to? Yes, but do I think it's worth it? No.
No, it isn't.
That's still
It's
40.
a really good Doom game. I do recommend wishlisting this game. This game is fun, and I think if you're a fan of Doom, you'll like it. If you weren't a fan of Eternal and you wish you could get stuck in a lot more, you're gonna like it. If you were a fan of Eternal and you like the high mobility, you kind of lose that here. So you might not appreciate Dark Ages in the same way, as a forewarning for those who liked Eternal. Because I do think that there's going to be a schism here because of that. Just like when 2016 and Eternal, I didn't like the direction Eternal went, but some people did. And that's fair. There's nothing wrong with that. But I much prefer the Dark Ages approach to the gameplay loop, because it's all about getting stuck in and being aggressive.
I agree that feels more in line with what the Doomslayer should be like, but also it is opposite of even older, the like boomers, the original Dooms, because those were all about speed.
Those were all
and
about
moving
speed
around.
and maneuvering. That's true.
Yeah.
Dark Ages is actually a bit unorthodox. Not in the same vein that Doom 3 was, but it is unorthodox in the sense that instead of running around, because in Doom 1, Doom 2, it's all about outmaneuvering. In Doom 3, to a degree, you even do it there. It's all about outmaneuvering, getting the jump on things, trying to kill them before they shoot you as quickly as possible. In Dark Age, it's about getting stuck in the fight and maneuvering in the fight. Like, you maneuver from fight to fight in arena areas in battle, and you're constantly getting stuck in an engagement with, like, heavy-hitting demons. And when a heavy-hitting demon locks you down, you engage it, or you try to pivot and relocate and then get back in and dive back in. It's basically, the way I imagined it when I was playing it, was that I'm a little fighter pilot, basically diving in and attacking these little monsters.
I'm a little fire pilot. That's
Like,
what I am.
yeah, pretty much.
I'm the Doom fighter pilot.
But yeah, that's the big thing here. Like, it has 24-hour campaign. For a shooter, that is really, really, really good. It's about the same runtime of Doom Eternal, which I had 24 hours in as well. So they both actually match up. 24-hour campaigns are really good in these games because most first-person shooters don't even have that. Most first-person shooters have like 8 to 4 hours is the ballpark, and I think that's rancid. 24 hours, solid amount of content, but $70 price tag, far too steep. It has replay value and a customizable difficulty option and stuff like that, with the promise of upcoming content and expansions to help add additional hours worth of content, which is also a nice feature. But you pay $70 for the base copy of the game that does not include the upcoming campaign expansion or any other future expansions, if there are any more planned after that. It is simply just the base game. So if you want the expansion, you now need to shell out $80 to $90+ to get all of the content for the game, which is outrageous. It was outrageous that I had to pay $100 just to get 2-day early access. Personally, I think the early access program thing that these games do is absolutely tremendously bad. I don't think they should do it. I know what it is. It's called FOMO. As a streamer, it's a business decision. I gotta do it, so at least it's a business expense. But as a gamer, I fucking loathe it because it's fucking rancid. The big problem with these kinds of things is that you're kind of like, oh, I get to play it now. Like, oh, I can play it now. Other people are playing it now. Are you playing it now? You're missing out, you know? And it's one of those fear of missing out things that's one of those problems. And it's kind of like, I find that insidious and distasteful, especially because it's not just Dark Ages that does this, to be frank. The other games do it. Dune Awakening, a game I actually really am enjoying, did this exact same thing, and I don't like it. I love Dune Awakening. I like Doom Dark Ages. I really don't like early access to buy things that are more expensive. It's just not, it's not fair to everyone else, in my opinion, because you're already asking us to pay a ludicrously large sum of money, and then on top of it, now you're offering early access for pre-order, things like that, which is just like, okay, well, now you're just kind of like punishing people for being patient and still having an interest in your game. The odds are they're still going to buy your game, but now you're punishing them. Punishing them for what? It just seems unnecessary to say the least. But yeah, that's my major grievances with Doom Dark Age. It's a great game, mired with bad business practice, such as, early access for buying a more expensive version, $70 price tag, which is just one of those things where it's like, whatever. I will give it one bit of credit because I did complete the game entirely. It does not have cut content in that regard. At least I don't feel like I need to buy the DLC, because I was worried that I was going to beat the game and it was going to either sequel bait or DLC bait me with the ending. It did not. I'm not going to spoil it because in case people want to play it, but like you do the thing that you do in the game and it has a complete story. Doom Dark Ages stands as a complete product. That's the one nice thing I will put to that note there. The music, while decent and middling in some areas, it didn't really stand out, and it didn't really have any sort of like moments where you're like, oh my god, this is like gonna stick with me. You're kind of just gonna forget about the music. The gameplay loop is solid. Yep. The enemy designs are good. They're really fun. The weapons are fun. I really enjoyed the super shotgun. I did mostly throughout the entire game a super shotgun build, which was really fun. I really enjoyed it. It's really worth it. But it's worth it at $40 or $50 or something that isn't 70.
Check it out in a year's time when it's on half sale.
Yeah, literally, this game is wish list material right here. Slap this on your wish list. Pick it up when it's on sale, when it has its expansion as well, so you'll get some additional content. Now, I can almost guarantee you that the expansion is going to sequel bait, almost without a doubt. If I had to suspect anything. But yeah, there wasn't a cliffhanger. That was the weird thing. I was surprised.
That's also the wonder if it even gets an expansion because it's not doing so well. Because mind you, certain games did market themselves as having expansions, and it didn't really have them because the game didn't do very well.
Yep.
What you looking at, kid?
I'm reading chat.
Okay.
So now that you're done, hello, Alex Rice on Twitch.
Oh, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day.
Oh.
Let's see. Don't buy games. So yep. I mean, the big thing here is that I will say this. If you're worried about Doom Dark Ages being overtly political, in the contemporary sense, it really wasn't.
It seemed like it was just, what can we do to change up the gameplay to have it be a bit more like melee focused? And it's like, okay, Dark Ages, let's go with that theme. And that's kind of how it started.
Yep. Dark Ages felt good. Also, it doesn't have it does have kill animations, but because it doesn't constantly do execution animations, it plays like butter. Like really nice. Like it's just like moving to fight. I compare it to another game, an indie game I played recently called Ultra Kill, which also played really well and had really good boss fights and stuff like that. Though the one complaint I have about Dark Ages is that I feel like there isn't actually enough boss fights. The boss fights, while the bosses themselves narratively weren't that interesting, their boss fights were surprisingly fun. I really enjoyed them. And one other complaint I have is that a game should have another tier of difficulty. I feel like Nightmare was really fun, but I felt like, in a way, there were parts of Nightmare that felt kind of like the encounters were a little too easy. So what they should do is they should go in there and increase the enemy count. I think
I want to say that, Kibbs, that was the point of them doing the super punishing, you die, you restart the game. Yep. That type of stuff.
But I don't want to play Ultra Nightmare, because the problem with Ultra Nightmare is it's like, what does it do? Oh, I just have limited lives and then I restart the campaign. It's like, well, that's not as interesting. I mean, it's interesting to some people who like Iron Man playthroughs, but for me, I'm not super big on Iron Man mode things unless the game is like built around it. For example, in the case in point, Project Zomboid, which is entirely built around the concept of the Iron Man mode being the core principle of game design. Because you play as a character, and the character you're role-playing is role-playing his life in the apocalypse up to their demise.
It literally starts when you load in the first time. This is how you die.
Yep, you will die. You will, and eventually, when they're done developing the game, they're going to die of old age. So no matter what, you will die. You can survive all the way to old age, but it's at one point you're going to die in the game at some point.
Didn't they reveal? Then you'll switch to another character potentially.
Yes, eventually they want.
They wanted to do generational things where you start as a character, and if you survive long enough, you play as your kids.
Yep, or you create like camps and stuff like that, and other survivors join you, and you can play as them if they die, or if you die. That's what they want to do. Basically make it like State of Decay, but like way more simulated. With simulating like pretty much everything you conceive of in a zombie apocalypse. Project Zomboid is one of those really good indies. Indie Stone has outdone themselves with that game. I'm very glad I never gave up on them. Because for a while there it was looking kind of iffy, but they kept going. And they've done a great job. Casvic says, on a complete tangent, Dune, Mentat Trooper is life. You just want to be a little Mentat? I knew it. Also, even if you don't have that, if you die, you make a new character and stay on the same map. Yeah. So you can actually find the legacy of your previous character, what he had built, even his supplies and his equipment, and even his zombie body roaming the map. If he died, by infection to zombies. You can literally encounter your previous character as a zombie, which is really cool, conceptually speaking. Or not just conceptually, but in practice. Because it's actually in practice. I'm so used to everything being in concept rather than practice. Welcome to Stream Team. He says, so they're going to add NPCs and maybe NPC settlements. Yeah, that's the plan. They're going to add NPCs and the ability to manage NPC settlements, and as well as to basically be able to make offspring and stuff like that. So you can actually, rebuild society. The goal for Project Zomboid is to basically make a game in which it simulates the fall of civilization, but also simulates the rebirth of civilization from an apocalypse. It's not just about playing through an apocalyptic zombie survival game, it's about remaking civilization from the ashes of the old, which is really cool. The update they're working on right now is adding blacksmithing. I played with it already. Blacksmithing and stuff like that, so you can make actual
animals,
iron and armor, animal husbandry, yeah. Lots of stuff.
Did they leave in the dog mutant?
That was a mod, by the way.
Also,
I'm not going
I need to...
That's one of the funniest fucking little things in that community.
Sometime down the road, get Blake to turn the chickens in Project Zomboid into Chatfish.
Let's eat them.
And Chad, if you don't know what we're talking about, literally it's just a mod that had a dog companion follow you, but mechanically speaking, it was a person. So when it would hop over a fence, it would stretch like this eldritch abomination into a human form, hop over the fence, and then turn back into a dog.
I almost missed a very valid question from Jonathan Macy, who asks, could there be no sequel bait due to it being a prequel to 2016 and Eternal? No, I would not say that. The only reason why I say that is because when you beat Dark Ages, there's a lot of, what's the word? You're not at the point which it's going to all of a sudden become 2016. There's
still a lot of time between.
There's still the demons. I can't spoil, yeah. But basically, when you beat it, you'll see, or if you watch the ending, the entire idea is that it doesn't sequel bait at all, but the story is concluded, but it definitely doesn't conclude in such a way that leads you to 2016, if that makes sense. There's definitely potential for another game set in the prequel Dark Ages era, which I'm all for, because a lot of the Dark Age things were cool. The Renaissance Age. I will say the mech combat was really cool. I'd like to see them expand that. The dragon combat kind of sucked, because it was more like Dance Dance Revolution more than anything else. The dragon combat, I'm glad we don't have to worry about that being in the next one. That's all I'll say.
Wow.
But the mech stuff was really cool. The mech stuff was fun. You got to fist fight other giant monsters. You know what it made me think? It would have been really cool if these guys made a Pacific Rim game at id Software, or some sort of some sort of Pacific Rim style game where you're a giant mech fighting giant monsters, because it felt really cool when they actually do those sequences. Though it was a bit shallow because there wasn't a lot of depth to it. So I'd love to see them expand that with more mechanics, because by the time you get to the end game and you do the mech combat, you're enjoying it, but you're kind of okay, you kind of feel the motion of it. You're you really wish there was a bit more to it, a bit more weight. Yep, no worries. Go ahead and put on your hail protectors, Fuzzy. Take care. We'll see you when you pop into the Discord, because don't worry, we've got plenty of time to talk about your subject I know you're bringing. I mean, in Dark Ages, you are still fighting with the Sentinels? The Sentinels. In 2016, the Sentinels already betrayed the Slayer, and you are on Earth. And then Eternal, they're back, and they're good again. Yeah, there is definitely a nebulous amount of time to cover, which is why the prequel era could be really fun to explore. They tried to do some things, but they kind of didn't, and this is going to be a spoiler warning right now. You don't just fight demons, you also fight Void, which is basically like Cthulhu stuff, but that felt like a huge missed opportunity. Because it wasn't really unique at all. Like, it says that you do that, but like it never feels like you do that. Because you're just fighting demons. And there's some new monsters that are Cthulhu inspired. And that's it. And that's it.
Inspired, he says.
Would you be surprised that they expand upon it further for the expansion?
I mean, they literally just rip off Cthulhu, but yeah.
We'll do fish people, which aren't nearly as scary as the fucking shadow imps you were fighting half the game.
Yeah, the shadow imps are kind of nightmarish, honestly. And those are actually the most scary things.
Fucking imps.
Let's see. Sorry, I wasn't clear. I'm more mean. They know where this going, and they don't want to get there too early, i.e. additional games between Dark Age and 2016. They said, I think, already that they want to do a couple games between Dark Age and 2016 was their intention. And I kind of don't blame them, because with Eternal, it kind of was like all over the board. Because the big problem is between Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, there's this massive time skip that happens. And it's just like, it felt, that's why I started on such a wrong footing with Eternal, in my opinion. It just felt like I missed a game. Like, there should be a game between Doom 2016 and Eternal, and there isn't. There's this blank spot. And
honestly, Dark Age feels like they're rebooting Doom again.
It kind of feels like, yeah, because Eternal just really doesn't know where to go.
Yeah.
And like Dark Age feels like they're trying to reboot it, but make it more consistent, if that makes sense. But while also not rebooting it at the same time. Not sure how that's going to play out, but see. I think id Software...
I mean, I think mechanically Dark Ages is the coolest of them all.
I think id Software did a fucking awesome job with this game, though. It's a fun game. They did a great job. Not a name, not a number, not alive. That's not true. You're a Chatfish. You're not a
zombie.
A zombie. Yeah, you're not a zombie. There you go. Thank you.
Which is a fancy way of saying it should make a new Quake.
Yes, 100%. I would love to see the Human Strogg War rebooted, because Quake 4 and 2 were awesome.
I'm gonna get on my Dreamcast and play Quake 3 Arena.
Quake 3 Arena was awesome. I remember playing that on the school lunch computers. We're not the lunch computers.
Oh, it was interesting with the Dreamcast controller.
Oh, so the Dark Ages before 2016. Then they are probably going to make a gap between 2016 and Eternal.
They already have a gap between 2016 and Eternal.
A big one.
Yeah, it's massive.
Like the...
It's big. It's like Earth already fell. Are weird. Yeah, I don't like that.
No, look, Kasavek, at the end of 2016, you get put back into hell.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Eternal, you're suddenly in a space above Earth because Earth is going to invade it.
Yeah,
you're in a spaceship above Earth.
You're in a spaceship you've always had. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
apparently.
like there's just a jump because it was all on Mars the first game.
It had yet to breach. Yeah. Because then it's like, oh, Earth has fallen, and also humanity's basically already dead. There's only a handful of people left.
You contain the breach and end it on Mars.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, Earth's fallen.
Eternal is not a prequel. Eternal's like, humanity's basically extinct except for like a couple pockets that are holding out. And that's it. And it's like, it just like, that felt bad. Like, I don't like it. I want to see Earth put up a fight. I don't want to see Earth already dead. I mean, that was Doom 2 in a nutshell. But to be fair, that was technical limitations at the time, right? Because Doom 1, Doom 2, hell, takes place on Earth. And Doom 2 is fucking awesome because the super shotgun is the bomb. I remember playing that in the Xbox Live Arcade for the first time. Doom 2 is amazing with friends. Even if they don't like it. Because it's old
Doom 2
and weird.
Co-op always ended with just killing each other over and over again.
Doom 2 co-op ended with me trying to find the exit to the level while my friends kept doing that.
Yeah.
Because they were lazy.
I mean, it was great.
Ah, good old Doom 2. Yeah, see, sadly, I never experienced Doom 2 or Doom 1 as they were intended to be played. I experienced them on the Xbox Live Arcade store because, they got ported there. Just like my experience with Marathon to Randall. My experience entirely stems from the fact that it was ported to console.
You haven't experienced true Doom unless you're playing original Doom 2 on PC through dial-up connection.
Oh. That, fortunately, is something I never experienced. My first multiplayer experience was Gears of War Online on my Xbox 360, and not being able to play it very well. And that was the point in which my dad's like, yeah, I think we're going to try to get better internet. Because any shooters were always a nightmare to play, but like strategy games always worked because, it's okay to have a little bit of lag. Man, I miss those days. Actually, no, I don't. I miss playing the video games parts and not having to worry about anything. Like, just enjoying games for as they were. I really don't miss the fucking high school part or having to do homework. That part I can live without. Jesus Christ.
But Kib,
All right,
homework
Chad,
was
you heard
easy.
him. We need to send Kib back in time so he can be a child again.
Hell no. That's like a downgrade. I'm an adult. I can do things now. All right, so let's see.
I have freedom and money. Actually, don't have that part, but
Or he
I
doesn't
think
have
I
freedom
money.
either.
I don't have freedom either.
But yeah, so I think the Doom Dark Ages is a good game. I feel bad for it because I worry that this game they're going to be like, oh, it didn't do well. Well, it didn't do well because you charged $70. Like, if
Yeah,
you didn't do
That's
that,
the
it
big.
would've been
That's
better.
the main thing.
That's going to be the biggest, or I'd imagine one of the biggest reasons, because it's like, I know for me,
Here, we'll do a poll in chat.
again,
guys,
I
too,
would
yeah.
have said it earlier. I was even considering going to buy it because I forgot that they made it fucking $70. Saw the price tag, and it's like, you know what? Later. I'll try it
Yeah.
later.
Hey, Fuzzy.
Hey, I'll make it a poll real
Already
quick,
post the
chat.
links in the chat.
So, chat, let's see what the general consensus on this. Now, maybe, who knows? Maybe we're out of touch. We need to touch some Fuzzy. I'm kidding. Fuzzy, don't touch me.
All right, so
Fuzzy
everyone-
isn't even fuzzy.
Well,
He's,
see, Gibbs wants
bald.
his arms broken.
But I'll
You
let
can't
you
break
guys
shit.
decide.
little spindle boy.
I made a little poll in chat, on YouTube chat. If anybody wants to participate on that, let's take a look.
Damn it, I misclicked. That means that you're okay with $70 games.
Psyche Smalls on Rumble.
You can
asks,
start
doesn't it
buying one for
require a
$1.
GPU with RTX?
I couldn't tell you. Asking me is a bad. I can't. Say.
I haven't seen people
I have an
complaining
RTX
about
GPU,
that.
so I don't know.
That it requires RTX.
I can't say. The big problem is because I have the rig I have. Like, I have one, so I can't tell if it would be affected negatively without it.
That is a good point, Harlan. You could just pay like the cheap fee to get a month of Game Pass, complete the game, and then just don't renew Game Pass.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think Game Pass is just bad for developers. It's
It
good.
is.
It's good for Microsoft because it brings people into the Microsoft sphere of like market, because then they're like, oh well, I pay my monthly subscription to Microsoft to get access to billions of games, but in the end, it hurts small developers and developers as a whole because now the developers are getting a lump sum from Microsoft and then some trickling sales, and that's it. Like,
I get the
I don't
feeling
like it makes
that-
developers dependent on Microsoft. I don't like that.
Well, here's the thing, kids, because it's owned by Bethesda, which is owned by Microsoft,
yep.
right? They're going to be on the fucking store whether they liked it or not.
Yeah,
on the Game Pass whether they liked it or not.
which is a shame because I really love id. Like a lot of the games they produce, even though I didn't like Eternal, even though I didn't like it, I like parts of it. I really like the classic armor skin they have. I'm kind of disappointed they didn't do that in this one, where you could actually just wear the OG Doom guy outfit. I don't know why, it just resonates with me. I just find it goofy with the little tummy patch that's just revealed for some reason. It's like, here, stab my tummy. It's just like, okay.
Doom guy midriff, Jeff.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's weird that it's exposed to the elements.
I recall you saying how much you missed the old design and wanted it back.
I just said I thought it was goofy, and I liked it. I like it because it
He
gets
wants
that
it.
80
He wants
vibes.
the midriff.
Let's come on, yeah. Let's be reasonable here. Just like, Jeff, let's be.
Time for being reasonable has passed. Time for Inga.
Oh, Game Pass isn't bad for consumers though, depending on price and whatnot.
Yes,
That's
but
chaosy.
I think it's bad in the long run for gamers as a whole, actually.
Yeah.
Mostly due to the fact that if Microsoft leverages this much control over this many studios, stagnation is not far from the truth. That's what we've already experienced. A lot of Microsoft
You know,
things degrade over time, usually pretty
what
bad.
we should get rid of Game Pass and instead games should just start having demos again.
The bare minimum? Okay.
We've been seeing that come back on Steam where they're doing Next Fest and like they have game
Yes.
demos and those always do really well and people actually get interested in upcoming stuff.
What's funny
Yeah, I
is,
do
from
like
what I
that.
remember, I don't remember which place I read this because it was like years ago, but it was something to the effect of like part of the reason companies stopped doing demos is because they were releasing demos. According to what they were saying, it was actually reducing the number of customers they were getting because people played the demo and it's like, oh, this isn't for me, which is just crazy to me.
That's true.
Yeah, and funny enough about the whole Doom Dark Ages, I posted the 3 charts. The release and Doom peaks at release. So we have the Doom 2016 release.
Yep.
The Doom Eternal and Doom Dark Ages. Doom 2016, 44. What? Give me a sec. 44,000 players. Doom Eternal, more than doubles that. Doom Dark Ages, less than 2016. What's the main difference between the 3? Doom Dark Ages is the only one that's that raised prices. You could throw in Game Pass and all these other factors, but yeah, it's like Doom Dark Ages did not grow the player base from what it looks like.
Yeah, because here's Dark Ages,
And
Jab Bros. And then this is 2016. 2016 launched. Remember, this is at the point which a lot of people have kind of like moved on past Doom. They've kind of forgotten about it. A lot of generations are just sort of like Doom 3. That was that
They
Xbox
know
game.
the name,
Yeah.
but there's no nostalgia attached to it.
Yep, because a lot of new
Now, look at Doom-
generations, and then that was built up when Eternal came out, because then all that hype that had built around it, Eternal was huge, and boom, 100,000 plus players for a single player story based game, or not really story based, but like arena shooter style game.
Shooter.
Very good. Single player shooters normally don't do that well.
Doom Dark Ages
Ragnarok
was
says Doom Dark Age requires a ray tracing GPU.
and it requires an PC and NVMe SSD. Most people do not use those for mass storage these days. Still, at most, usually it's a mass SATA SSD for storage.
That is unfortunate. That is
So even if you
sad.
wanted to play it, a lot of people can't play it because they don't have the hardware to do so.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like
So
the,
hardware limitations also cock blocked other people. That's another point. Yeah, we did miss or haven't really focused on too much. We did mention.
And if you look at this Steam survey, most people do not have even the storage requirements to play Doom Dark Ages. Nevertheless, the hardware requirements.
Now, currently, the poll at the moment stands at 96% out of 45 chatfish think that Doom Dark Ages is too much and would rather wait for a sale, while 4% are okay with $70. And I've
We
also
know
had
one of those was a misclick.
yeah, I saw one person misclicked that. And so if you fat fingered that, that's okay. That happens. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's sad because I really like the idea of single player shooter games coming back. Like Machine Games did a great job with the Indiana Jones The Great Circle game. They proved to us yet again that they can make good games, just maybe they shouldn't touch Wolfenstein because that was cringe last time. That was they didn't do a good job there.
To be fair, Todd
He did
had
intervene.
a heavy hand.
Todd Howard
in
did intervene. That's true.
Indiana Jones.
Fuck, of all the people we have to thank for the fact that Indiana Jones: The Great Circle turned out to be as faithful to the film adaptations of the setting, we have Todd Howard to thank because he's a huge Indiana Jones buff. He actually safeguarded it from wandering and straying from the subject material. And so, thanks to him, Indiana Jones: The Great Circle turned out to be an actually good game, which is genuinely surprising. Did not expect that. I was like worried that it was going to be an absolute dumpster fire, but when we actually played through it, it was just solid. Can't believe it. It had terrible PR and misleading advertisements that basically like talked about it's for a modern audience when it really isn't. It's actually for people who like Indiana Jones. Like, they should fire that person. The person who said that. Because that person made me think that game was going to be a dumpster. Fire him. Garbage.
Vile human being.
Good. Now rebuy Oblivion after you praised me.
I can't wait for Skyrim Remaster to come out.
They're going to do it. I'm
I
calling it.
I
Nope.
think
They're doing it.
Fallout 3 is going to be the one.
They'll do Fallout 3. They'll do Fallout 3 because they need to do a little bit of break before Skyrim because they don't want to get laughed at too much. Then they're gonna do Skyrim
Yes.
again, and then they're gonna own the joke just like they did last time. When like you can play it on your fridge because they started joking, you know, because they know too. They know it. They know what they're doing. They're gonna get away with it. Chat.
They can't keep getting away with it.
That's pretty much. Indiana Jones just works, but it actually does. Yeah, that's the strange part. I'm actually looking forward to the story expansion. Assuming Todd Howard holds the reins still of control over machine games, or at least in that project, it should be accurate to the Indiana Jones universe.
Turns out when it's not one of their own IP, it's not like an IP they made.
They can do their
Todd
job.
actually gives a shit about it.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like, Todd doesn't seem to care about Elder Scrolls, but he cared a lot more
Fallout.
about... Yeah, he didn't give a shit about Fallout.
He didn't even care about fucking Starfield. Like, if you look at that fucking mess that game turned out to be.
Okay, so I have a new
Christ.
proposition for Todd Howard. You can make movie games that you're passionate about. That's it. There you go. Fixed. Solve the problem.
He takes that studio that made the fucking RoboCop game and makes them do Rambo again, but better.
But actually playable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually
A good
playable.
Predator game.
That would be awesome. An Aliens game.
They'll
a real
do
Aliens game.
the Predator with Dreads movie. Don't worry about it.
Oh. No.
I like it when people
That'll never happen,
in
Madhouse.
Hollywood like to make aliens and monsters that are horrific and evil, based off certain kinds of cultures. That's great.
You're racist.
Wow. Accusations.
You're the racist one, not me for me.
I depicted this horrible, monstrous creature as a specific culture or race. Therefore, you're racist.
Nice. Based. Man. I love it. Maybe he's an Indiana Jones fan? Well, you're actually right, Monster. Unless you just showed up and you missed it. But Todd Howard is actually a big Indiana Jones fan. Hence why the Indiana Jones Great Circle game turned out to be good. Instead of being a complete like pile of crap. And they've actually released a lot of patches for it that I do want to check it out again when they release expansion to play through it again. Where they've actually improved a lot of complaints I actually had with the game. Like a lot of them too. Which is nice. Terratine says, a Jurassic Park game where you first build a big park, then you have to survive to fix some stuff.
I've seen that, yeah.
That would be cool. They are making a Jurassic Park movie game, but we'll have to wait and see until we see some gameplay. It's called Jurassic Park Survive or something, and it's like, you're in Jurassic Park as like a random like college student or whatever, and you got to get out of the park before you die or something. It's like a survival horror game. We'll see how that turns out or something. I'm not entirely sure. Jurassic Park is one of those things where it has a long history of movie games, and it's very all over the place with their movie game.
Hello,
quality.
Indio.
Welcome to stream, Indio. Indio produced some really good artwork in the Discord server. You can check it out in the Chamber of Squeakrits. It's currently posted early access there. It will be posted later. There is a fund going on to save the second part, which has a little less clothing. If
The
Chapters
lewd
make the
version.
Sunday goal today, I will not archive it. If they do not make Sunday's goal, I will put it in the archive forever to hide.
So that's $704, chat.
I will show chat the art. Or will I? Because Indio's got the version. Don't worry about that. We're not going to say anything online about what we know. What we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know nothing, chat. You know nothing. You know nothing, John Fish. You know nothing. Let me just open these bad boys up for you loyal little chapter. We got a lot of subjects to move through, but I'm going to take this as a brief moment to talk about some of the things that we've made, things we're proud of. It's always good to be proud. Look, take a step back and be proud of what you've done. Damn it, the corrected version wasn't posted in Chamber. I hate you, Indio. Your death is very likely now.
You mean the corrected version that you corrected?
Or I told him to correct? Yes. And then he DM'd it to me, I think. He did. All right, there we go. Just need to open it. Bada bing, bada bam. This is a really awesome art piece, chat. Really fucking amazing art piece. It has 2 versions. Let me just double check over it. Let me just censor it because I noticed something else. It's a good thing I check these things. I swear to God, it's the end of me. Indio's trying to get my channel taken down. I can see this
It's
stream
not
is
fair.
becoming
Only Alu got
dangerous.
to do it.
This stream is entering what I call the danger zone now. We might not be around for much longer, chat. Please remember us. Like, no.
You too,
Will
chat,
you
can help fund things
remember me?
that gets Chick Kibs banned from YouTube.
Yeah, you can help fund more art pieces that I have to show on stream that are I just noticed another thing that would get me yeeted off the internet. Good job,
And
India.
that's what that you have noticed.
There's
It's the
definitely
massive
something. I'll tell you that much.
something starts with an F and then a
Right.
U
We're not gonna talk about it. How about that? We're just not
and
gonna.
a T.
Yes, I'm just gonna censor it even more. Okay, like a super censor. Like no
Oh,
one
I see it actually.
Be quiet. Don't say anything about it. Silence you. There we go. I'm safe. Safe as can be. All right, chat. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I have to Photoshop on stream. My artists are trying to make sure we don't make money anymore. That is what they're trying to do. I live on the edge of a knife, chat. Every day we have to make the daily goal. And every day my artists try to destroy us in some other way while also taking my money. I can't believe this. I can't believe it. You know, I'm paranoid now, so we're going to censor that too. You know what? We're just going to censor that too. You know what? It's just a black bar.
I think you should just censor
It's everything's
the
black.
entire right side, actually.
Yeah, I'm just going to censor Squealy. You know what? I don't trust Squealy
Yeah.
anymore. Squealy's hidden.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Squealy. You don't exist. You're just
Preserving my
black.
modesty. Thank you very much.
There you go. You're wearing a burqa as far
Modesty,
as I'm
reguline. Ha.
All right, now I can stream my screen safely without fucking having to worry about whether or not I'll get to eat anymore. Take a.
You did just to remove it.
I told you I was gonna censor the crap out of it. We're safe now. So there you go, chat. If you would like to see the other version, you can donate, and we will actually show it. Indio, you did a great job, but I also think you're trying to destroy me because of these art pieces. Better hurry, Chatfish, or this piece will be deleted. It's true.
Oh, look
You
at
have
that.
until
Kids actually
Sunday.
did it as a single layer.
Yeah, that way don't accidentally disable layer. So now that you've seen it, chat, enjoy it. Okay. Next time, just describe the picture. Imagine a picture of Aerith wearing very little. There you go.
There's something massive under that bar.
Something massive. No, there isn't. Don't worry about that, chat. I don't want to misinform people.
Something massive, actually.
Just 2 milkies, really. That's it. There's nothing else. 2 milkers.
We need to get the quote from Kib where he says,
And a little
awesome.
kitty cat. Awesome. Shut the fuck up.
The piece is food and by the way. Awesome.
I was just trying to get you out of my way, really. Like you were in my way of me succeeding in
You
life.
not paying attention is a reoccurring thing, Gibbs, yes.
Shut up, all of you.
I did drew some nice titties there, says Indio.
All right, so next up, we're
Indio.
going to talk about our little baby boy, fucking little baby boy man, little baby man.
Actually, because chat was asking about it, why don't we do the bungee thing next?
No, we're gonna do the bungee thing next. God damn it, chat! I hate you. Fine, we'll do the bungee thing next. I wanted to put that off a little bit longer, but you little fat chatfish.
I don't care what you want.
Okay, well, let's start with the top. Oh god, there's so much bungee shit. So this is gonna be a big meaty one, and Chumba did a bit of a Chumba dive, as we call it. So we know a lot of stuff about it.
Chumbisms.
So first thing there is just an article basically going over what the video is going to have in it below it.
Bungie confirms it stole art once again and will undertake a thorough a review of Marathon assets to confirm that they didn't steal anymore. Now, tell me really quickly, Chumba, what is the history of Bungie doing this? Do they do this often?
So if you scroll down, I actually have a post about that.
Which post?
That's the bottom of my posts.
How far down?
Keep going.
I hate you. Why can't you just put these in order?
I did put them in order.
Don't talk to me ever again.
That one.
That one?
Those two. These last two. No.
Those two. There we go.
So this is the instances we know of Bungie being caught stealing art. The
Okay.
latest one being with Marathon.
So let's take a quick review of this. In 2021, Destiny 2, Witch, Queen trailer, artist involved was Mal E, Relay 314. Nature of claim, used fan art of Zivu Arath in trailer without credit. Resolution, credited artist after mistake noticed. Ah, a classic Blizzard. They take the fan art and they just slap it in the game. And they just slap without crediting the artist. Next up we have is in 2023, a couple years later, Destiny 2 cutscene. Artist involved was Julian Felona. Nature of claim, used near identical fan art in cutscene, apologized and compensated the artist. Well, I guess the other artist, didn't get compensated. That's a shame. You did good work, but not getting paid. Next up we have is 2024, Destiny 2 Ace of Spades Nerf Gun. Artist involved was Tofu Rabbit, also known as Tofu Bunny. Copy design for Nerf replica identical patterns. In contact to compensate and credit. Okay, wait, so they haven't done it yet?
So the post after that, because the latest thing is the one we'll be going over with Anti-Real.
2025, yeah.
Which was you. So if you close this, and the post right below that.
This post?
Yeah, this is one of the people who had their art stolen. As you can see, their art there with the in-game art. They literally just changed the colors, or for the cutscene, they just ripped it directly.
Ripped or traced, one of the two.
This is the artist Julian Felona. They say, I'm the artist whose artwork was used for the Witness cutscene from last year. It's been a year, and I'm still awaiting for that compensation that you said will be given. Haven't heard a word since. Damn. Bungie's
so they
really
never
dropping
actually
the ball.
compensated. They just said that they did, and then didn't.
Yeah, from what I know from talking to, just looking into Bungie's business history, ever since they got free from Microsoft, some bad people got into the C-suite positions, and it just led to very bad turnover of all the good people who, in combination of retiring and sick of things, and it just led to stuff like this happening.
That's fucking
I like how the
rancid.
answer is there is just no, by the way.
No.
So they had to address these claims, as they were calling them, of the art theft. They had a Q&A live stream. Now below that one, 2 below that, I believe, or 3. There's a screenshot from the chat during their stream where it's just the chat spamming them plagiarism will make me God, because one of the game's advertising thing was something about something will make me God.
Pretty sure that's the what's it called? Wasn't that in the trailer for fucking
Marathon, yeah.
Marathon? The
Something
shooter?
will make me God.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is for Marathon, but regulate. All of this.
I know.
This is funny. But this is funny for the fact that, like, it sucks that happened to the artists because they're the victim here. But it's funny because this company just keeps doing this for whatever rhyme or reason and consistently can't get this under control.
Mm-hmm. So right above that is a report from another article, basically detailing what the fallout has been, and apparently morale is just in a free for all in the studio over the art theft fiasco. So the devs are just,
The vibes have never been worse. New report details Bungie morale in free fall after Marathon art theft claims. See, the big issue here is that you're going to reach a critical point in a studio in which morale is incredibly integral to the team's health, right? So we run an indie studio called Battle Damage Studios, and when something bad happens to an individual, it affects team morale. When morale is damaged, work output will slow and diminish for, very legitimate reasons. These people, all their work, because there are people on this team at Bungie that probably are working their hardest and their damnedest to make everything original. But then you have Frank over there, literally, god dang Frank. He's literally stealing someone's artwork and reusing it. And now, because he did that, you're working on a project that used stolen art. And so now you feel like you're complacent or in some way you're involved in that. Even though you may not have been aware of it, it doesn't matter. Your team is now involved in another scandal. It's not just once, it's not just twice, it's not just thrice, it's now 4 times. That's critical. That's going to reach a boiling point in which the team is going to lose all faith. Now, let's highlight team morale and why it's important. Quite a few years ago, about decades ago, there was a game in development for an Indiana Jones game that was planned to be released for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. This game suffered a critical crisis of morale when Uncharted released, because they had run into a bunch of development troubles and they just were struggling and they were just like trying to break through this roadblock. And then Uncharted released and took the world by storm because it basically snuck all the wind out for like that style of adventure game. The team collapsed. When they collapsed, it's like, to explain, it's like the front line of a military operation collapsing. It's like the German army, the state of the German army in World War I by 1918, like late stages after, like it's on the verge of total collapse. Like, it's bad. Everybody knows which way the winds are going. They know it's over. And so this kind of effect is critical because this means that this team is reaching a critical point in threshold in which they're losing confidence and faith in the project, so much so that you're going to see a high turnover rate. When that happens, it's only the beginning of things that are far worse. As you lose people with critical information and know-how of operations, as well as how certain things work or certain styles, all of a sudden you lose your art director, all of a sudden you lose the art team that was doing that thing or the programmer that was making that, and all of a sudden it starts to unravel because everybody's going to start to jump ship. And now they're going to have to do whatever incentives they can to try to resurrect or restore morale. This is pretty critical. I think Bungie is looking at a total collapse if they don't do something serious and something quick.
Yes.
And
So
they've been. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So their claim with this whole thing is that, oh, it was just a few things, and we're going to rectify it, and it was done by a former employee, and we were unaware of it. So addressing that claim, if you scroll up from that,
Okay.
I have a post right there.
This one?
Yep.
There we go.
So multiple people, including the art director, have been following the person they stole all the art stolen from for years. So they know of the artist. And there's them confirming that they know of it.
I'll just read the post real quickly. So Reaction Andy says, I see that Joseph Cross also follows you. Is there any insight you can give about the connection there? Question, N2 responds, he's followed me for a few years and a few others from Bungie. Never had any communication in regards to the person who stole stuff, for clarification. N2 is the victim in this case, right? Yeah.
Yes. They're the one who had all their stolen. And the reason I'm saying that the claim of, oh, it's just a few things is bogus, because if we start to go up from there, I started posting art assets that were directly ripped, and you can it clearly paints a picture of the entire design and art direction of the game was stolen from this person. Like, all of it is based off of this person's work.
I did forget to loop it. God damn it. Always something. But yes.
So
it's very much identical. You can see like the snapshots of where things are accurate. Like literally the logo is identical everywhere. They just ripped things and they got caught red-handed doing it and they confessed to doing it.
Mm-hmm. So that the post that this is showing, that the person is saying it didn't stop with her posters. They deliberately co-opted her design language and musical style. They stole her entire creative identity. So
that's horrific.
The person also makes music, which their SoundCloud is linked below this.
How far below?
It's right there. We don't have to listen to it, just the names alone Like, except the latest one, like the ones right below it.
Inversion impulse, LF unfolding, stuff like that.
They're very... Pretty much the music I've heard in game is literally just these songs, but like remixed slightly.
That's weird. That's also fucked. So yeah, they just took basically the music and stuff like that.
They took this person's entire portfolio, basically.
Yep.
So it's not, because once again, the arts that's so far, like, it's just decals. So if we go up, they even used a design language the person has in their art stuff.
Yep, the symbology, yeah. I can see
They
that.
use that for an ARG, for like a thing to promote the game and like get people like interested. They literally copy pasted it.
Yep, they stole their art style. That's okay. So for context, for those who aren't like artists and stuff, an artist is defined by their style, by who they are and what they produce, both in terms of composition and writing and art and culinary work or whatever, right? They have techniques, and these techniques require a great deal of craftsmanship and skill that require years of honing and working towards. They are incredibly admirable for what they do, right? But here, this person has honed their skill, defined themselves, and carved a unique setting and style for themselves and how they draw and how they design things and how they make music. And then to have somebody literally just come over and steal it and then basically try to run with it as theirs is detestable. This is why there's such a massive outcry against AI, not just against the art community, but historical. Because historical revisionism, because of AI, is already becoming a problem, especially with revisionary pictures. And the removal and erasure of actual history. It's one of those things where we're running into an issue now, the digital age, where it's getting easier to steal people's stuff and try to run with it than it ever has in the past. And this kind of theft, there aren't any laws to really protect for everything. Now, in the case of intellectual property, this person has enough evidence and I think proof to probably be able to do something about it.
So this person is literally apparently from what I've looked up, is literally a struggling artist. They're unemployed,
Yeah.
and like they don't make much money from their art.
They struggle. They struggle every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're one of those
And so
hardworking
they've been
artists, yeah.
encouraged to try to start a lawsuit, and like they've just straight up said, "I can't afford to do
They
that."
can't afford to fight it. Yeah.
And that's why they've been targeted.
What do you do when Bungie steals your stuff? What do you do when an AI steals your stuff? Can you do anything? Can you fight? Can you defend your rights? Can you fight for what's rightfully yours? What you earned from the sweat of your brow? No, you can't.
So, yeah, going back to the post though, just to show how blatant and how bold the lie is that it's just a few posters. I posted another thing
At the bottom.
up.
Oh, I thought you said bottom.
No, keep going.
This one.
There. So the post for this is the person who posted this image pointed out that it's her entire portfolio. Like, and this is years and years ago. The person, like, years of work.
Yeah.
So you can notice like the way the font is, the language and stuff. This is literally Marathon. They just ripped it straight from it. And then above that, I've got zoomed in images from the game side by side with the art the person made. And then above that is a clip of their response, a 30-second clip of them addressing the claims. So that first image is...
So is this the guy on the left? Oh, wait.
Uh,
no, this is Bungie.
Too far.
Yeah, this is Bungie, but that was too far. I was looking for the images right above the post that you just looked at, Gibbs.
Oh, it's just a actual response.
No, up. I'm talking for images. Right there. Images, Gibbs.
Yeah.
Scroll down.
It's like directing a cat.
Scroll down one more. That image.
This?
That's a link.
Oh.
Image. Up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
got
the person's art
Oh my
with their
God.
name, anti-real, right there on
Hold
the right.
on.
That's in
Chat.
game on the left.
1 second. I need to move They literally just erased their name.
Okay,
Yep.
I have
No,
to...
no,
Look
it is
look.
there, but it is so like faded out or pixelated because you can see a bit of the outline.
This
For
is
it.
fucking detestable.
There's enough letters that you can make it out. And on top of this,
It's carbon copy of her work. Yeah.
this is being done with likely Sony's money that they got to acquire the studio. It's like they acquired the studio in 2022. Years passed, and they've been pulling this blatant theft. Where has all that money gone? How have they been training the people? How have they been hiring?
I don't
That's
think
all-
they
it's-
actually have an artist team. It's just designers.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. It's like, where did they pocket the money? Did the C-suites of Bungie pocket the money? It's like, this brings up a lot of questions.
The
That's
worst
the
part
best
is they
leadership.
made it like battle worn stuff. Yeah, they made it look like it was eroded, like her like
Yep.
stuff there in her name.
Do you know
What
what's
the
really funny
fuck?
about this entire situation? It literally could have been fucking sidestepped if they just went to the artist and it's like, dude, we fucking love your shit. Can we like pay you royalties or something?
You know what's funny? There's a game called Dark Seed that I know unfortunately stuff about because it's gross. But it literally did that with Geiger's work, and they literally asked for permission and paid him to use his stuff and got permission to use his stuff to make a game. You can do that. If as a developer, if I really like someone's artwork, I'm like, oh, I really love the design of that creature you drew there for yourself. How much would you want for me to pay for the design, the right to use that design? And you can do that. This actually happens historically throughout the industry. When it came to like BattleTech and Robotech and stuff like that in Macross, when it comes to like artists would produce like a mech or a design or whatever, and then people would pay money to use the design in their thing. Because that you get designers. That's why you get designs. You go, oh, I really love the look of this like mech thing, or I really like the look of this art piece. How much to use it in my thing I want to put it in? Oh, like $60, $100 or something. Done.
Yep,
Accreditation.
Gilsey did
Done.
mention.
No PR nightmare. Nothing. You do a fair exchange of money. I would like to use this work you produced in something I have made.
But Kibbs, then you can't pass the art off as your own and get the credit for it.
That's true. Yeah, that's detestable. I had to load that
So,
model because it was annoying.
Next image, right above it, just more examples of just copy paste.
Yep, it's just straight up. The symbology here,
Yep.
literally on this tarp here. Yeah, because her
Literally
symbology is actually really
they literally
cool.
just reversed the image and slapped it on there.
Yeah, she does like these cool like little symbol things that look kind of like some weird, like I don't know how to describe it. Like almost reminds me of like some game I played or saw a while back, where you like run around. It has that sort of design aesthetic to it. And so she put a lot of work into creating these, like little pieces of art, and then they have the gall to just take it and not even
plaster.
and literally claim credit for it. And just invert that. Yeah, the visual language is stolen.
They just inverted it. That's all they did. They just mirrored it in one way or another and just slapped it on everything.
That's terrible.
And it gets better with the next one, where they didn't even bother to mirror it.
But why do this? They have something to work from the fucking original marathon designs.
Nope.
Like, why would they do this?
Because they're scum.
Well, they
Like,
changed.
are they
This
that
is a new-
lazy as to not just reuse the designs from the original marathon?
Yeah.
They don't want to make marathon.
That is a serious question.
I know they don't want to make marathon,
They don't.
but they're going to call something marathon, and then
So-
They reused the
and then
helmet
steal
design
from someone else.
from the cover of Durandal.
they used
But
one
that's it.
helmet.
Yeah.
That's it.
You'll also notice, as we've been looking at this person's portfolio, the color and style just is the entire game. They just straight copied the color design and
The
whatnot.
level design and maps all look like that. That's why, like, artistically, when I
Yep.
looked at the game visually, I'm like, it looks like interesting artistically, but it does not look like Marathon, right?
Yeah, so scroll up one more. Literally just copy pasted that, slapped it on there, slapped it on there, slapped it on there. The way the colors are and stuff, it's literally just copy paste.
Yeah, like Aleph Dark
It's like
Space
someone told
Haulage,
the
like, it has
intro-
nothing to do with the setting.
No, it's like someone told the intern, "Hey, use this as a reference," and the intern is like, "Copy, paste, 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 paste,
It's
paste."
sadly
Except
worse than
it's
that. It's the art
the art
director.
director.
Yeah.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. That's what it like feels like. But then when you hear, no, it's the director.
Yep. They literally just stole this person's entire like art identity.
I can't believe they just did that. I can't believe you done
Mhm.
this.
Yeah.
They
I
were
think
expecting to
less
get
of-
away with it, which is why they're so just the morale's dead because they were expecting to get away with it.
Yep, because and again, like you mentioned earlier, Kibbs, the issue is with companies like this, they know that small fry can't fucking compete against them legally speaking because of just how expensive it is.
Well, yeah.
And the sad thing is, lawyers actually know that this is a problem, but they don't know how to like what's the best solution to fix it.
Yep. This is
So
definitely
above,
an issue
yeah.
because the big thing here is that, oh my god, like they did this, right? And what do you like? Okay. The big problem is what do you do, right? Like when this happens to you, because a lot of these big companies, what they want to do, why the big corporations are so happy about AI stuff, is because finally they can get rid of that last nagging thing that was bothering them, the artists and the writers. They can finally replace them, and their entire goal is to wipe them out from the very get go. Because if they can wipe them out, they can just regurgitate shit and steal stuff. The benefit of AI is it steals stuff for free, and so that's one of the big reasons why they do this kind of thing and why there's such a big push in the industry to do this by big executives and large corporations is because they want to charge you $100 for video game. They do. They want to charge you $100 for game. Technically, they would like to charge you more, to be honest. And they want to charge you incrementally. So they want it to be live service so that you pay $100 for an entry fee, then you pay $50 for a season pass. For like a battle pass or whatever, and they want to do that to you. And then what else do they want to do? They want to get rid of any other expense costs, get rid of the artists, get rid of the writers, make it generated somehow, so they don't have to do any work. There you go, done. Now we get that $100 and we pretend, oh, we have to pay all the artists and how big our team is. You replaced everybody. You replaced everyone. You know what they want?
Funny enough,
They want to get all that money for themselves. That's what they want. They don't actually care about games. Do you think executives care about your game? Do you think they care about Star Wars Battlefront when they put fucking microtransactions in it? Do you think they cared about that? No, they don't fucking care about the game. They couldn't give a rat's ass. They want to squeeze you for every penny you have, and when they're done with you, they're going to move on to the next thing and squeeze that next group with every penny they have, and they'll come back to you when you're, ready to be squeezed again. That's it.
part of
That's
the
all
part
you
of
want.
that part of that problem is you had a lot of executives and still do that got into the industry when it was exploding and really growing over the past 20 years that did not understand the industry, and it started bleeding from the top down. Looking at Bungie as a hyper-specific example, new leadership came in, Sony came in, and what happened? All the good people, especially after this, are never going to work for Bungie. It's like, where do you get good artists and talent and writers? They don't want to work for these companies. So what do? It's like, you have a bunch of bad leadership that is driving all this talent away, and is becoming really abundant in these AAA companies. It's like all the current directors and studio leadership, and even a lot of publisher leadership, just aren't competent, and they're relying to this investor class that part of it is their fault, but mostly this investor class that doesn't know how to pick good leadership and is leading to all these problems. This is just one example. It's like, how does Bungie recover from this from a talent perspective? You really think these artists are really just going to be so lenient to working for Bungie these days, especially with the current art director, or with the current leadership? Hey, I stole your stuff. I'm sorry. You want to come work for me? How many people, I would like to know, would honestly say yes to work under this? Most of them are going to AA or indie studios and just going, screw you. No, I'm going to do my own thing where I can actually be paid and rewarded for the work I put in.
Castivic donates a generous $10 and says a lot of lawyers will work for a % of the winnings. The issue is you have to have a strong case for them to do it. So it is a massive effort to find a lawyer who would take the risk. That's absolutely true.
Yep.
That's absolutely true. And I don't blame
Unless
the
a
lawyers either
lawyer-
because they, they got
Yeah.
families to feed too.
The thing is, being a lawyer
Do they?
is a job.
It's
it's
not
like-
easy.
if-
It really
If
isn't.
you're not,
Evil.
You need a
as
solid
messed
case
up
you
as
can
it
win.
sounds, you need to basically show you're a good lawyer. How do you do that? You win easy cases.
Yep.
And you need to have some seriously good, to use this word here, empirical evidence. It can't just be rationalistic logic. Judges do not like that. You need some serious receipts to show, and that is not easy when you have a bunch of professional corporate lawyers that know how to cast reasonable doubt on a lot of things, no matter how nonsense it may sound.
Yep.
I'm
And
hoping the person behind this with Bungie is able and does take them to court, because it's very damning. Like, there's no real, like, oh, it's just inspired. Like, it's blatant copy paste.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and on
Bungie is
top
the
of this-
same company, by the way. I want to point out they did something. The rancid atrocity they committed have only just gotten started. But before this, they also took people to court over playing content that they had removed for the game because they had removed
And-
content from Destiny, and that sparked the whole controversy about, like, well, people bought this, but then you cut it out of the game later. Like, you're taking away the thing that they just purchased. You remember
Yep,
that?
And
they do
Bun-
that.
And Bungie is even more of a pickle, as even if there isn't a lawsuit, Sony is very unhappy. They got lied to by Bungie, and they overpaid for Bungie by a massive amount when over time, Bungie and Bungie's dirty laundry and bad bookkeeping and bad management style started showing. They were supposed to be the studio where their core competencies is to push Sony into the live service and multiplayer sphere. What do they have to show for it? And we have on record, both in investor calls and in new gaming news publications in Japan and in the US, they are really not happy with the corporate leadership of Bungie. And this is just going to add gasoline to that fire. There is
So-
a... Go ahead.
So when they tried to address these things, because they did that Q&A, they were also accused, I wasn't able to find the people making the claims of it, of basically ignoring questions people were asking and just pretending that they were asking other things and ignoring the backlash until eventually they did address the claims, which is in the clip right above that image. It's a 30-second clip where they address the plagiarism.
And so to that extent, I want to send my personal apology to Anti-Real, whose work was used in this case. And I know how unfair this feels, and we're doing everything we can to make this right with her. Her work is fantastic, and we clearly share mutual appreciation for a specific genre of graphic design, and it's very exciting, and I'm excited to have folded that into our style in general. So thanks.
Folded that
He's reading
in.
from a script. He's just reading from a script. He doesn't care. He's just upset they got caught. Is what his body language says to me.
Yep, and the rapid blinking and eye movement.
His body movement, to me,
Irritating.
is a person who is very kind of on edge. Not necessarily, like, I would say, like, fearful, but it's just like they are trying to be very careful in what they're doing or saying.
Yeah, they got caught red-handed. That looks fucking guilty. Folded in. If you respected and truly cared about their style, then you would have fucking hired them. But you didn't. And there's struggling artists on top of that, too. Not only are they struggling and barely making ends meet, they definitely jump on the chance to get a big contract. I know that from experience, like everybody would. Big bucks, big business, like, hell yeah, we want big monies. But did they offer them that? No, it's far easier to claim it as your own. And you got caught in the act, you tried to hijack their style, and if you got away with it, you were going to claim it as their own and then bury them under the rug. It's, it's just one of those things. Like, people go on about, like, AI doing this stuff, but humans do it too. And it's just deplorable every time I see it. Gregors donates £5 and says, it seems to be hard times breed strong men. Strong men make good times, and good times make weak men. AAA collapsing beneath itself. Hashtag Conesfic, hashtag SF, hashtag ATR. Now, I wouldn't use the word AAA collapsing, because it can't. It's just not possible. unless like there's a massive market collapse. But then we're not going to be streaming.
I'd
And
say
you're
it's
not going to be here.
definitely going into a decline.
Yes, there are studios on decline, like Bungie's on the out, definitely. But there are studios that are on the in, or on the way in, so to speak. Arrowhead is one such studio that's on its way in, but it's also trying to. If you've been following what's happening with Arrowhead, by the way, they're trying to break free of Sony. But I think they already have to a degree, because they're going to launch their own
I've seen
independent
claims that their
project.
next game is going to be 100% owned by them.
Yep. They're very disillusioned with Sony after Sony basically backstabbed them to the point where it almost sabotaged Helldivers 2, which is basically their magnum opus. And so they're basically Arrowhead's going to go their own way, is what it's looking like in the
Yeah.
future.
They did say they apparently with that they are still willing
They'll still
and
work
eager
on
to like
Helldivers
work
2,
with Sony,
but that's it.
and also willing to work with Sony, but like they're gonna call the shots on their next game.
And they need to,
Yep.
because if you look at another example,
must fuck
Stellar
them.
Blade is
Yeah.
Stellar Blade has a problem where in a stupid amount of countries online you cannot purchase it on the Steam
Yes,
store.
because it requires PSN on PC.
Yeah, it's like Sony cannot do
Yep.
PC releases.
Is Stellar Blade the
overall.
developers that believed that they should charge $70 for the game so that they could feel official?
Yes, they're the ones. The creator or director was basically saying like he wants to charge more so that the game feels like it's high quality.
That's
So people feel like it's a high quality game.
That's
Yeah,
not what
no,
I
you-
feel. You know, when I see $70 games, I think scam. That's what I fucking think. And I've thought that ever since day one. Stone Age donates
Also, I'm
€5
pretty sure it
and
is
says,
70.
everything will be all right. Damn right. Games may collapse. Ubisoft might collapse. But you know what? The sun's still going to set. Or, well, set on them, yeah. Sun's still going to rise the next day. And there's going to be new companies and new games that'll take their place. We lose nothing when they go under. What do we lose when Bungie goes under? Bad game? Okay, don't care. What do we lose
Yeah,
when...
this whole-
bad
Urchins.
game? Okay, don't care.
Failure is one of the best economic correction mechanisms. It is the best correction mechanism. Budget goes under? Good. Throw gasoline on the fire. Let the ashes grow new studios.
Yep, it'll
You're
create
right,
a
like
vacuum
it is.
for other studios.
It's not 70, it's 60.
The
But I
vacuum
do
is
recall
good.
the dev saying he wanted it to be AAA price so people would know it was good quality.
That's dumb. But it's good that it isn't $70. And thank you for the clarification there, Blake. That is incredibly important. We rely on Chatfish for any corrections.
Go Plague Chan.
Wise and
He would know
intelligent
something,
fish.
wouldn't he? The Lagooner.
They screwed God of War Ragnarok, which is a single-player game, and made the PC version to link your PSN account instead of Helldivers 2. That's funny. That's also cringe. Yeah.
They also unoptimized.
Ragnarok's also cringe though. So.
Yep, but that's a personal grievance. Like, I don't like the new God of
Yeah.
War games, but my personal opinion in this regard is irrelevant. The business actions is hampering the purchase value for everyone else. Because this is like, you know, again, it's like cookies, right? I like Oreos, but I really don't like the poop flavored ones. You know? Flavor. Gross. Don't want that. Don't want that. Some people like them. But all right, Kib, you should make your game $80. Yeah, and then watch as you all leave me. Okay, fair. And then show me them how much a quality product is worth. No, it should be 40. 50 is like the maximum, and I still don't really care for that number. 40 is like the price that I find reasonable, because it's like, yeah, it's a video game. It's $40. That seems reasonable. That way, if you want to buy another game, it's only another $40. It's pretty easy to buy, and they're not that expensive. It's literally just like a couple Burger King meals from your fast food joint or whatever. That's it. It shouldn't be $100 friggin' dollars. It shouldn't be $120. It should just be $40, a simple fee. Or if companies want to go cheaper, $20. Hell, whatever. There's no drawback to that. Unexpected says, I have paid significantly more than $80 at this point. Oh, we talking about to us? Is that it? Or we underscored each other? Like, we're coming for you, Kib. We're coming.
$10 billion
Eh.
for the game.
10 billion million trillion dollars. Yeah, we're a indie team operating with a shoestring budget that we get donations for. We don't have the finances that these companies do.
And if that argument fails, then you're paying for a lifestyle. Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Oh god, suicide. 20 years from now, Kib charges $200 for his game.
PSN isn't required for Celebrate.
At that point, you should all throw me under the bus if I do that. Fucking Christ. Then whatever is basically the Skinwalker or whatever is basically taking over my body. At
I
no
will
point am I
personally
charging that.
go over and strangle Gibbs if that happens.
I'm never going to do that, so long as
It's
I
like-
draw breath.
Then all of a sudden he's like, "But chat, inflation, it's so bad, and the tariffs," and he's like, "He's not Gibbs anymore." Got some
Oh my.
It's not
I-
required, but you get some outfits if you do, says Blake.
Yeah, except I'm
Got
looking
the
at
bag.
the Stellarblade store page on Steam. Incorporates third-party DRM, Denuvo anti-tamper, 5 different systems within a day, machine activation limit.
Machine activation limit? Oh, that's
What?
detestable. What the hell? You mean you buy the game, you can only activate it on so many machines before you can't do it again?
Within a day or something? That's what
okay.
it says, yeah.
That's still detestable. Denuvo is also garbage too. Game companies really need to stop punishing players for buying the game legitly. Unironically, pirators, you get a better deal half the time. That's retarded. I pay money for a game, I get punished. You steal a game for free, you get rewarded. Your game runs better. Your game runs better. What the fuck? That's so fucked up.
Like Blake's saying it's not required, you just get skins if you got to, but I've literally been seeing people say it's not available in their country, Blake. And it's the same countries that
They're
PlayStation
talking
Network's
about
not
two different
available
things.
in.
It's not required, but you do get some skin. Well, wait and see, because
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. So, not sure. Depends on the stance of the dollar at that point, though. After Brazil colonizes the U.S., I don't think that's gonna happen. The Brazilians are literally a lower class of human being. No I'm kidding. No, Brazilian boys, no, don't be mad. Don't be...
Oh, let's go.
They're trying to sort out the region lock on Stellar Blade Twitter. Okay, so it might just be a bug or something. Well,
Perhaps. Okay,
and see
we'll
till the
wait
dust
and
settles.
see.
It's not like pirates can't crack Denuvo. They have done it multiple times. Well, yeah, I don't blame them. Who'd want that on their? You give theater makes the game run like
Sometimes
poop.
in less than a day, they've cracked it.
Yep, Denuvo is literally a scam, and you shouldn't use it. Like, I used to work in the anti-piracy agency stuff, and I can tell you right now that any of that built-in stuff is garbage and often is a scam. If you're a developer and you make stuff, and Denuvo or any of these companies offer you anything, you are literally being scammed. The only type of anti-piracy work you should ever be getting is literally an agent to just assess the damages and see how to better optimize your control. That's it. Like, you're not going to stop piracy. You won't. You never will. People will always pirate things. Don't punish people who buy it, though. The first thing you solve is service issue. Then after you solve service issue, accessibility and visibility. Is it how easy is it to find? Is it because you'll run into, like, if you're having problems with your product, basic fucking anti-piracy tips I can give you, like, it might be a visibility issue. You need to check your visibility, and if it's not visibility, then it might be accessibility. Maybe it's just too hard to get a hold of it. Where is it? How hard is it to find it? When I Google your product, do I find your content or do I find pirate stuff first? Because that happens a lot with a lot of things, where the pirate stuff actually rises to the top. And the legit thing is on the third page. You gotta...
And sometimes it's literally just hardcore piraters, in which case you are never getting that sale in the first place.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that sale. Just don't factor in hardcore pirates. They're just gonna pirate anyways. The only pirate you should ever be worried about as a developer is a casual pirater. A casual pirater, is the vast majority of piracy. The vast majority of piracy is people who Google something, and if they can't find
Google
it, they can't find
free game download.
it. Yes, unironically true, though, by the way.
I know. That's why I said it.
Can I get
It's-
Dune Movie Part 1 for free? And does it pop up? Then there you go. There you go.
Horrorint.
Honestly, you'd be surprised how few people actually know about
Torrents
that.
are not. It's because there can be like legit
Yeah.
torrents. So that's not as a surefire way, but it is
true.
it is
Most people-
basically the next step
Yeah.
down.
Most
the next
people,
step down.
especially younger generations, don't even know how to use torrents.
Yeah. There was a theory
wasn't
going
it-
around that Elden Ring named their horse after named it after
Torrent.
Torrent as a way
Yeah.
to get rid of
Wasn't it
That would help for
Piracy.
search
Gabe
results,
Newell?
actually. That's not a bad idea.
Wasn't it Gabe Newell that said something to the effect of, if you make a service better than what they can get if they pirate it, people just won't pirate your game then?
Hmm?
No,
No,
because
well,
he
not
he
entirely
fundamentally
true, but
viewed
yes.
piracy as a service issue.
Yep, it is a service issue. It's a service accessibility and visibility. How easy is it to download it for free versus paying a few bucks? Most people cannot be asked to go past the first search page of Google. Almost like 80% of people will not go past the first page because they just don't. If they don't see it, they won't even scroll. That's how lazy most people are. Now, your more dedicated pirater, they have what I call the ability to scroll, which is dangerous. And even more
Well,
dangerous
also
is the one that clicked the
if
next
they
button.
are a also if they're a habitual pirater,
They have favorited
they're not-
websites. Then
they're
good.
not just going to go to Google. They already know the websites.
Oh yeah, they know the
They're just
websites
gonna
by
go there.
heart. And those people,
Maybe leave it.
yeah, those people you can't stop. Like, they're just gonna pirate it. They were never gonna purchase your product anyways, so don't worry about it. And it's I know why it's an emotional thing too for a lot of developers, because for them, they're putting, okay, so you got to put yourself in their mindset for a bit. They're hedging their bets. They put everything into this thing. They have a family. They're trying to feed mouths, and I've talked to people like this. They have everything on the line. They need this thing to do well, because if it doesn't do well, they're in trouble. How are they gonna, pay to, send their kid to school? Like, what are they gonna do? They don't have the money to do it. It's all up to this thing doing well, and so they're worried that the piracy thing's a lot bigger than it really is. Is it a problem? Yes, it is. Is it the end of the world? No, it really isn't. It's a relatively easily treatable problem. You'll never get rid of it, but that's why it's the correct terminology. If you have a piracy agent, what they should say is it's treatable, it's manageable. If they use terms like we can solve it or like it'll be gone for good, they're scamming you and they're lying to you. They can't. They actually cannot do that. If they use terms like it's treatable, we can get it manageable, they're telling you the truth. Because that's all they can do. That's all they can. I know, because I did that for a living. That's all I can do.
That's why they got rid of you, because you couldn't confirm it.
Yep, because they literally was a company that said they could get rid of it. And you know what's funny? They did use them. And even though I lost my job over it, their piracy problem went up. And now that company isn't around anymore. It's also other reasons why it isn't around. But that definitely played a factor in helping it go
I
under.
feel like you guys getting fired was probably a not what's called a symptom of what of the other problems ever at the company.
Having agents do stuff is actually cheaper, by the way, which is the funny part. Just the funny. Whatever. No, I don't want to talk
No,
about
it's
it
not.
specifically.
It's just not professional to do that.
I can say explicitly. A, it's not professional. B, I didn't sign an NDA with them or anything, but I'm not gonna say it purely because I did work with people in that company who were good people. It's not their fault. They were just trying to make a living. And can you blame them? Everybody wants a cheeseburger. They're like, "Eee."
Especially Kibbs looks at screen.
But yeah, that's why I always have these piracy PSAs, because I do know that some of you guys have intentions to become indies or creators, and it's okay to be a little nervous about it. But just remember, the way you should try to look at it is the same way you should look at Rule 34 stuff if it happens of your character or things you make. View it as a compliment in a way, but make sure that it's not out of control. In the case of piracy, you just need to make sure that you're making it accessible and affordable and reasonably cost, right? Because as long as it's reasonable and accessible and affordable, people will buy it. People will buy it. I'll buy it, especially if it's something I want, So don't
But will you
panic.
buy it for $1?
I'd buy that for $1. Yeah, pretty much. Just don't overreact. Don't panic. Don't be afraid. It's okay. But don't use companies that say they can resolve it like 100%. If they say they can resolve it, or they can your piracy problem will be a thing of the past, in the sense that they're gonna cure it, no. Think of it as like an illness. It's something you can treat, and that's about all you can do. There, that's my PSA for creators out there who are worried about that stuff. It's okay. Don't worry. Now, I petted the little Baileys. Are safe now. Maybe page 26 changes item terms. Yeah. Most people will
Tiberius.
Most people won't do that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Tiberius wants to point out for training chapters that we're interested. The 40k Armageddon game series is going to be removed from Steam soon.
What? Why?
I'm looking at it right now. It's just saying that it's going to be removed from Steam. I'm not seeing a reason why.
I have a feeling
just
it's
are.
licensing. It's Games Workshop. I'm calling it now.
That's
Probably.
usually why.
They didn't
It's the
have
same
money to
reason
renew
why
the
It's
a
license.
lot
also on a steep sale. So if you were interested, now's your last chance.
All right, let's do it
Yeah.
for a PSA because video game preservation means everything to me. And this is
Now
where
there will still be a version on a Sanctus Reach because will still be on Steam or GOG. Sanctus Reach is a different game though. I'm trying to find it.
Armageddon isn't really a game for me. I've played it 2.4 hours and I thought it sucked, but that's because I don't really like these style of games. However, people do like this game. It's just not a game for me. This is Armageddon, by the way. It's like a little like CG style, like early 40K
Hexagrid,
hex war game.
Yeah.
Not my cup of tea, but it is available, and it's available for its entire collection
On a
for
Steam
$4.
discount.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sanctus Reach is also getting removed at the same time, which is similar.
Sanctus Reach.
It's not on sale though, so
Sanctus Reach is
That one-
slightly bigger and slightly.
it is also gonna be on GOG still. Sanctus Reach. But it seems
That's
like
weird.
Armageddon will not be, from what I'm seeing. At least they haven't said it is.
I don't like that. I don't like that because that's bad for video game preservation. I don't know what's going on here or what's up with that, but my heart tells me it's Games Workshop. Now that doesn't mean that's
Probably.
right, but Games Workshop doesn't give a damn about video game preservation. Not a goddamn thing.
It's like with a lot of like really old video games where a lot of companies were involved or owned IPs in the game's creation. So because you have to ask so many different parties, hey, can we have permission to do this, that they just don't bring them back and they're just lost to time.
Yeah, I don't care for this. I don't care for this. This is bad, in my opinion, just period. Because video games shouldn't be ever removed from store, regardless of ever how bad they are. There should be like a warning, because I have games that are dead and abandoned, but there should be like a warning on the store page. You should always be allowed to have a game. It should never be removed. It should never be taken down. It's just a flat thing. Even if it's bad, even if it's not a good game, I don't care. Even if it's like
I think the only thing that like that would be acceptable is like the game is like literally physically not playable.
I don't even care about that. You should still be able to download the files. If you want to tamper with it and see if you can fix it, mod it. You paid for it. You bought that thing. You own that thing. That needs to be fought
But the
for.
thing is, you're forgetting with games like that, you technically don't own it.
Yes,
You
technically,
own a license.
technically on Steam, we technically don't own games. That's true.
You
However,
own a license to access it.
the reason why we are safe on Steam is because Gabe Newell, literally. Because he is principled to the point where he is actually just not going to take away the game from you. Now,
I'm
you-
pretty sure even if you get your Steam account banned, you still have access to your library.
Yes, video games,
For now.
regardless of whatever video game is a lewd game, whether it's a hentai game or a violent game or a car racing game, I don't care. Whatever it is, it should be fine. Even if I disagree
Thank you for
with
bringing
it.
that to our attention, Tiberius.
But yes, good job bringing that to our attention, Tiberius. Whenever this happens, by the way, chat, and this stuff kind of happens, even if it's a game I don't give a damn about, I don't care. Do tell us. We do care. Because video game preservation is something I hold deeply to my heart because I love video games. Even though I loathe them at the same time.
Since it is so on Steam, I'm probably going to pick up the DLCs because I own the game.
I think I will for Armageddon. I don't know about Sanctus Reach. Just because I... only
Sanctus
like $1
Reach,
off.
it's
For
going to
the
be on
sake of
GOG, and I
owning it.
wasn't interested. I at least enjoyed the little bit I played of Armageddon.
Armageddon wasn't really for me.
They're typically not games I play.
Yes, hopefully Steam never goes public. It going public would be an absolute disaster for all of us.
Oh, gee, yeah. Imagine. Here's the thing. Unironically, a lot of video games going public is one of the reasons
Yep.
games are kind of a shit show right now.
It was bad. And the big reason is because people come in because of money, right? The video games industry is one of the most biggest sectors of entertainment media now. Video games are becoming bigger and bigger because everybody, it's innately human to game. It always has been. We've always been little gamer bros, even when we were little Vikings.
It's innately human
Romans.
to just want to do something just to, like, decompress or pass the time.
Yeah, to play, to have fun. Playing, there's nothing wrong with playing, and anyone who tells you otherwise is coping and seething because they're mad at something or repressing themselves for whatever reason. It's okay to want to play. It's okay to want to play, no matter how old you are. Playing is natural. We're animals, in a way. And animals play. It's true. She's like, animal.
If you think about it, Blake,
Riley evolved
he
animals.
really is.
Riley evolved it.
Yeah, that's right, Plague. Think about it. That means Kibbs is willing to play War Thunder.
Grind.
Grind.
Yeah.
Now I'm wanting. No, this is sad because I think this would actually be cool. Now I'm wanting a fucking War Thunder game, but in the Gears of War universe.
Dominic.
Do they have tanks in Gears of War?
In
but they
lore
should.
they do.
Yeah.
They have the RC tanks, which look like little RC cars or whatever. They do look like RC
It's
cars.
actually just a little game the cogs play with each other where they use RC cars to fight each other.
Pretty much, just pastime. RC cars are so cool.
You got
Yeah.
criminals, by the way.
What? What?
Cram elements.
Oh, donation.
Yeah. Full cream.
Frederick Hennestad. He's a chatfish. He tells me many things. One of the things he does tell me, chat bros, and I'll tell you in a second when it loads. He donates a generous $50 and says, buy subpar video game for $50 or Thummy Fish. I choose EU5 Thummy Fish. Fit Kib. Sandwich. Happy 17th of May, fellow country fish. Oh, is it a Swedish holiday today, Frederick? What day? What's going on in Sweden right now, chat? I know he's mad. It's like, and screams. That's funny. Come on, I'm funny. Laugh, chat. Laugh!
No.
I really hope that Gaben has a good succession plan for the company. Public Steam is literally nightmare fuel. It is. It is. Publicly owned Steam is terrifying.
Imagine once it goes public, they go back on Gabe's policy of you can just keep your library. If they want to remove something from Steam, they just remove it. Like Kibbs, imagine you can no longer play the original Rome.
No.
Or Medieval 2 gets removed
Yeah.
because they're gonna do a remaster or something.
No. Some companies do that, but they can actually optionally do that as is, sadly. Now, fortunately, they can't remove it from your download thing. So I have games that have been removed from Steam Store that I can still download and have access to in the back end of Steam.
Yes, because they're still technically on the
Now-
site. They're just
they're
not
hosted.
publicly accessible.
Yep.
I had stuff away. That was $50 for Sandwich.
The Europa Universalis 5 thumbnail, for the Europa Universalis 5 thumbnail, Fit Kibs, and Sandwich. Yes.
Yep.
And thank you for your generous donation. If it wasn't for your generous donations, we couldn't bankroll our little indie project. Yes, that is true, chat. Our indie project relies on $412 a day, which is insane when you think about it. It makes me feel really garbage all the time. Somehow I just feel like we need to have our game studio just not require any money. I think everyone should work for free.
I'll volunteer.
You should enslave
Yeah.
them, kids.
I don't think the art team will go for that. I don't think the art team will
I
go.
think India would like it. He likes being enslaved.
See, the worst part is I would go for it if I didn't need to live. If I didn't need to have
If I could just
food.
be a ghost, it'd be so easy to make this video game.
Oh my god, it would be. I wouldn't have to expense myself. We could remove like
You know,
my
the
chunk.
worst
of that.
part, Kibbs, is that you want to make many more games after this one,
Yeah.
so that once you make your first game, you'll feel like completed, and then you'll go back and then you'll move on.
Now I can go into my other passion, landscape.
Die. Can't. He died.
Died, yeah.
He became a ghost.
I'm a ghost. Ghost.
He moved on because he made his game.
Kids can work for free. I wish. I eat as bare minimum as I need to without going too low because one thing I did learn while being indie, and this is a tip for other indies out there.
He becomes
Don't
grumpy.
eat the most bare minimum food possible. Do eat somewhat okay food, because if you do that, it starts to affect you on a mental level, and you just kind of start to feel sad about things. I think it was my first experience with like a genuine depression, but like I don't know how to describe it.
Yes, you were very mopey.
It was like the last time I've ever felt that way, and it's the first time I've ever felt that way. But if you eat the most bare minimum things and like don't use AC and don't use like anything if at all possible, or lights or whatever, as minimalistic as you can, you start to feel sad is the first thing, and then you just start to be sad. Like you just sit there and you feel sad. You're like, I'm sad about like being alive, and that's like a thought I had. My life is
Hello,
happy.
former ghost.
And I was like,
Hello.
oh. And so I fixed that immediately and actually ate real food. And then I felt happy and content. So yes, do
The
look after
key-
yourself. I learned things as I developed this game, I swear to God.
The key to a kib heart is food, chat.
Food, unironically, is incredibly important. It actually made me learn to appreciate how to cook and learn how to cook even better. Because learning how to cook means that, yes, I can make food as cheap as possible so that my food expenses are small, so I can invest a greater percentage of that finances into assets for the streams, assets for the video game, and the lore videos, and we can produce them. But it's going to come at a cost. And it means that I'm going to have to buy everything and make everything myself. Nothing pre-made, make things. Technically, I'm going to try to start pushing myself to start making my own homemade pizzas, because that should help me save on money too. Everything should be homemade.
should.
Homemade
I know.
everything.
I'm going to be looking into
I'm
getting an air fryer
surprised.
because I hate how
Frederick.
my
Air fryers
oven's
are
acting up.
amazing. Good. That was a
I
good
wanna get
gift.
one.
That was a very good gift. Made a lot of use of that.
Gonna get one. Make s'mores.
I think
With making homemade food, I will say this, chat bros, you feel happier. You feel more content when you make food. You feel proud of yourself. Push yourself to learn new recipes and ingredients. Watch some videos on how to cook. Get ideas. I made a nacho burger based on an inspiration, because when I was driving past a little store, it's like, we have a new taco burger, and I thought about that. I'm like, taco burger, nacho burger, and so then I made a nacho burger at home, and it was really good. Then I made nacho sandwiches, and those were really good too.
I was gonna say,
Homemade.
Frederick, I'm surprised you didn't want to join in on the Harkonnen and Atreides war.
That's true. Harkonnen and Atreides are going at it in the Dono War.
I'm only helping Harkonnen because, well, I can't join Ix or the God Machines.
I can't join Ix with the
Close
God
enough.
Machines.
Now,
We'll fight for
as,
body.
as a reminder, chat, Kibbs has given you guys an offer. If the weekly is met today, you'll get the lewd version of the art that is posted in the Chamber of Secrets.
I know, I'm shocked by that. I'm like, lewd? Oh.
Also, as another reminder, if the Conus fic does not reach at least its halfway point by the end of the week, that will be cut.
poor little Conus.
I don't know. I read the last one. There wasn't that many.
Did you? It's not been recorded.
I don't think we've
I
heard
don't
it.
know.
Correct.
Every
It was by
other-
design.
Mm,
But
every other
Conus was
one's been
there.
recorded.
He witnessed it, so it has been read. So I don't have to do it.
I
anymore. And it
imagine you
was- I'm
didn't
not
put
gonna lie.
any emotion into it. Hanzet sucks the pee-pee of the wyvern. Like, that's probably what you read, too. Sicko. It was that bad, wasn't it? He would write that.
It was bad.
Was it that bad?
It was bad.
Was
I
there-
told him that
was
as
there-
I was reading it.
I have to know. Was there a sex scene?
What the
It's
fuck do you think?
yes.
Conus fic, yes, of course.
They're so bad when Conus writes them. Oh my god. I hate them. I absolutely loathe them. I absolutely... Oh, cringe.
And then he splooged.
No.
And the splooge went everywhere.
Gross. Now.
It got in her mouth.
Shut up.
And she said it was tasty.
Quiet. Quiet.
Allegedly, some got in her hair, and I too.
Oh my god. Alright, so, moving on. Back to the fucking task at hand. What happened to Fuzzy?
He had to
Good.
step away for a bit, so why don't we do hands or squealy?
Okay, we'll
Well,
do
we can go
hands.
to mine because mine
Oh,
leads
screw it. Let's
straight
go.
from into Sony.
Where's you?
You're sweet straightly.
Snow White.
Oh, this
Mine's
one? Yeah.
no. Yeah.
The-
That's literally what you posted. What do you mean no?
Because I saw Mario and I didn't immediately see
Which
it.
one do you want me to click on then? Which one do you
Click
want
the
me to
Mario one.
Mario! Alright, what's up, kitten?
This is a article going over a interview a journalist did with one of the people from PlayStation. So I want you to go ahead and scroll down until you see the quote I actually screenshotted earlier, but
Everyone's
might as well look at the actual article.
This one?
Yep.
This is literally got giant quotations.
Yep. In terms of actual price of $70 or $80 games for really great games, I think it will still be a steal in terms of the amount of entertainment that top quality games bring to people and compared to other forms of entertainment. So I want you to understand, Chatfish, that as far as they see things, raising the price tag on games isn't actually a problem, because you're still getting all the value out of the game, and that's how they're going to try and sell it to you. They want you to believe that the games you are buying were always worth $80. They're just now pricing the game at that actual at that actual price tag.
Which, as we all know, is baby back bullshit.
Yeah, that's bull. In terms of actual price.
They also have another article that you don't need to pull out. I'll just read it for you.
Okay.
But over the 12 months ending in March, Sony shipped 18.5 million PS5 consoles, down slightly from 20.8 million the year before, bringing its lifetime shipment to 77.7 million. Sony still manufactures the majority of its PS5 hardware in China, and so its gaming business is essentially at risk right now due to the Trump tariffs. Even after a 90-day pause and reduction in rates announced this week, the 30% tariff on imports from the US from China is substantially higher than the 10% rate levied on other countries, and game consoles were not included in the exemptions for select other electronics. Microsoft has already raised the price of its Xbox consoles by up to 100%, though Nintendo has so far elected to keep Switch 2 pricing the same ahead its launch next month, which is already excessive, by the way. Those of you who know how extreme the Switch 2 price actually is.
Yeah. It's not looking good.
I want you to realize that they've already sold 77 million consoles, right?
The Switch 2?
And it's only going down. I'm referring to Sony.
Okay.
I can't help but kind of find it funny.
They want to use the tariffs as a reason to actually just increase the price overall.
Yes, they're using
using their competition as a reason to keep the price up. Like, that's actually like something that would convince a consumer.
That's awful.
I find it funny that Sony they aren't even producing their mainline thing locally. The Japanese companies relying on the Chinese production.
They're international. You're right.
It's ironic.
Oh man, it's just upsetting. Like, the big thing, I don't know about you guys and how chat feels and everyone else here, but like,
How does that make you feel?
how does that make you feel, chat? Makes me feel kind of sad.
Angry.
Makes me
Pissed.
sad and angry, yeah. Because like, it's one of those things where it's like, we actually are getting some really good games and things are kind of turning around a bit in the industry, and it looks like AAA is kind of making a bit of a recovery in some fields, keyword, but and then they're like, they just go and they blow it all because it's like, oh, now we're gonna raise the price to $70. And it's like, okay, well, what do we gain by you doing this? What do I gain? What does Chris Pan gain? What does Todd gain? Do we get better games that have a lot, $10 worth of extra more content? No, it's the same game. In fact, it's worse because now not only do you get that, but you still have to buy the season pass and all the other bullshit, which is now $50, which is what the price of the base game should be. Because I've seen Paradox do that where it's like, season pass, $40-$50. That's the price of a game. That's what the game price should be.
And you know what you're gonna get for that fucking season pass? A skin.
like you'll get
Maybe 2.
you'll get some content. I'll give the benefit of the doubt when some of this card. Let's say you do get some content, right? Is that content going to equate to a whole new game? No, it never does. It's always a substantially smaller amount of content than the game you purchased. So it's like, okay, like even with that justification, or even looking at it from that angle and trying to be reasonable with them, or quote unquote reasonable, trying to bend over backwards and snap my spine in half, pretty much, we're still losing. We're still not gaining anything. Paradox is all the time. You buy Hearts of Iron 4, it's got some mechanics, it's kind of there. You pay $20 for an expansion, you pay $50 for a season pass. And
Look at Crusader Kings 2.
Yep.
For the
How much was the season
hundreds
pass?
of dollars.
Stupid
Yep.
computer.
It is
this point.
so expensive. The basic game is free.
Fixing it, chat. Fixing it.
The computer finally killed itself.
No, it's just Aver Media has this weird, like I said with copyright protection thing, it's like, you're streaming a movie to people. It's like, no, I'm not. And you don't even stop me when I do that. You don't even stop me.
$310 worth of DLC.
No, there he goes again.
Copy protected content. It did that again?
You should probably
It's the
close
website.
that,
It's the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
certain things where websites will like have certain protection things, and it'll be like copyrighted content. And it's like, oh my god, fuck off. Okay, did it fix itself automatically now that that's closed, or is it just gonna be like copyrighted content? Fucking jeez.
It's still there.
I fucking jeez. Like, it's not your job.
You need to
Aver Media,
reset
do
it.
that. You know whose job it is? It's fucking no one's job. Fuck off. Stupid fucking thing.
Pizza shit.
It is. Whatever. Copyrighted my ass. No. Burp, burp, burp. All I have to do is just flip the HDMI on and off, and then bam. Golden. All right, let's see. Yeah, you know what's funny is, by the way, when we do watch-alongs and stuff like that, does it have any problems?
It does.
No. No. We watched the Dune 1984 movie last night. Does it do that? No. No.
Then someone in the audience, but it should.
But it should. Oh my god. Next, or do you have any other articles, Squealy?
That was all I had. I found
Okay.
those two and managed to combine them together. But either way, it seems to me that Sony and Xbox are slowly realizing that the console game is fucking dead, and that they're gonna try and weasel as much money out of it as they can. So that's what I get a feeling out of.
Now we have some interesting news as well from little Hansy Pansy.
Or share.
Yeah. Because apparently, Chet, Stalker is coming to consoles. And when I say Stalker, I don't mean like the new ones. I mean the old ones from what I'm reading in this
The
article.
old trilogy.
The classic collection of Stalker games coming, as you can see right there, the Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PlayStation. And it's not just the originals. From what I read through the article, they are trying to do some like graphical updates and like preventing crashing and stuff like that. But yeah. The old Stalkers coming to console. Now the console peasants can experience Euro jank.
Yeah.
Sweet, delectable Euro.
And kind of see where the series came from.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to this, but yeah, so I'll pull it up on Steam too, chat bros. They chat woo, and then they just look at you because they're mad.
No. You can't type Stalker. That's not what it's called. It's S.T.
I know because they're stupid.
It is funny when you try to look it up.
But yeah, so let's
Because
see.
everyone just says Stalker.
Enhanced Edition features. Atmospheric, visual, and heat speech, including Godways, because, you know. Dynamic screen space reflections and advanced global illumination effects. Ooh. Redesigned water shader, upgraded skyboxes, and wetness effects. Wetness? Just like,
Wetness.
Basically, because in the old ones it could rain, but it didn't really affect the textures. It was just a visual
Oh, okay.
filter. for the most part.
Gotcha. Improved visuals and textures for detailed environments. Upgraded weapon fields of view and models. Multiple bug fixes, quality of life tweaks, and full gamepad support. I'm actually kind of looking forward to this because I played Stalker 2, and I wasn't particularly sold on it, all things considered, but I kind of wanted to try the OG Stalkers. So yeah, apparently they're going to port the OG Stalkers over an enhanced edition, and if you have a console, you can now play them on console as well. I'm kind of interested, because the Stalker series interested me, but when I played it, I was so sick and delirious, I can't remember what happened.
I believe you bitched a lot.
I think...
You didn't really care for it that much.
I can't remember.
You're
That
bitching
shit
is
just
the usual,
me
though.
bitching about a game. No, that never happens.
Yeah, right. Last year, I got horrifically sick when we played this Stalker 2 or whatever, but I can't really remember what happened in those streams. I just remember, like,
You
feeling
were
like...
going through the story.
He decided to RP that he was actually in the game.
He got food poisoning from one of the sausages he
I
ate.
actually got radiation poisoning just to experience what Artyom is experiencing.
It's not Artyom. You're not playing Artyom and fucking
Metro.
Stalker, you piece of hands excrement.
Okay, because
It's
I
funny when you say
I remember the general consensus from both the viewer base and myself being that we weren't particularly impressed with Stalker 2. And that most people didn't particularly care for it and thought it was a downgrade compared to the OGs.
Daniel says he didn't bitch much, he coughed much.
Yeah, I did cough. I do know that much. But yeah, I'm interested. I want to try it because apparently the OG Stalkers are really good, and everybody swears them up and down. And I hope they're good because I want to try it. I want to try
They
it.
have a lot of charm. They're
We're
also
trying.
extremely fucking broken.
We're
So
gonna try it.
hopefully the enhanced edition actually, fixes a lot of those bugs.
It supposedly, allegedly, and underscore allegedly, makes the games much more stable.
Cossacks, Art of War. That's what they've made before.
Yeah, the Cossack series is actually really fun. I really enjoyed it. They didn't just do Cossacks, they did more than that. The entire, like, American Conquest, I really enjoyed that as a kid. That was good. American Fight Back, I think they fucked up those versions because people don't like them. Cossacks is a fun series.
I liked it, but it's not a streamer game. They are not stable in the slightest. This is unexpected.
Well, you're a chatfish, and that's what I think about you. He's like, no, that's what I think about you. I like how that guy's just spurging out with his little machine gun, like.
He's shooting into the ground.
Hold on, is it a bundle or is it all three are separate
I
games?
think they're
you have
gonna
to
really.
buy?
I think it's like a thing where
Yeah, they're
it's
separate.
one collection, but you can do each individual one.
You can buy them individually.
You don't have to buy them all if you don't want to. No, I heard
There
that like
is-
one of them is better than the others.
I think it's Shadow of Chernobyl
Is that the one?
or Call of Pripyat. I know
Call
Call of Pripyat and Shadow of Chernobyl are really good. Clear Sky
Call
is.
of Pripyat is decent. Shadow of Chernobyl is decent. Clear Skies is just fucking jank.
So which
'Cause
one
I
should I,
tried to
start
play-
with?
Have
Call of
fun at the
Pripyat or
movies,
Shadow of
Master
Chernobyl.
Huntsman.
Call of Pripyat.
Okay, I'm just gonna wishlist that one. We're gonna buy that one.
I'm gonna Pripyat. Ah!
I was under the impression it's going to be like a bundled thing of all the games. in
mean,
one.
Yeah, no,
Maybe.
Raper, that's what I'm saying. It's from my understanding, it's you get this thing and you get all three, and then like when you boot it up, you can basically pick like I want to play this one. Is how
Right,
it kind
Huntsman.
of reads me. Letter.
Everyone.
He's going to the movies, not night.
Oh, enjoy the movies.
Taking his mother to the movies for her
Good night,
birthday.
Huntsman.
Oh,
I'm not changing
wish
what
her
I said.
happy
I said good
birthday.
night.
Happy birthday to Mr. Huntsman's mommy.
I think that's what he said. Yeah,
Oh.
it's a birthday.
Clear Sky has the largest firefights. That's what it does have. But those firefights come with jank.
Also in Call of Pripyat, depending on what happens with some random spawns, you could unironically get like the best pistol in the game at the beginning of the game.
Good. Stone Age is Shadow, Call, and then Clear Sky.
Well, he's putting
Shadow. Call. Clear Sky. So Shadow,
Shadow of
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl into Call of Pripyat and Clear Sky.
Okay, I'm putting.
I don't know if I agree with that one, but like it's not the worst order.
I mean, chat didn't.
so
this
long
isn't
as
a funded series, so I'm only doing one.
so long as Clear Sky is last, that's usually what people care about.
There we go. There, because I don't think there's particularly big interest in chat funding a series for this, so I'm just gonna stream one of them just to try them, just to see what it's like. Because I'm
No
just
one
curious.
yesterday wanted to be on the thumbnail for it even.
That's good, honestly.
They're so hateful.
It's good for the one fact of I would have felt really bad if somebody bought on, because then Lycanfish is gonna have to like pull an all-nighter. So I'm actually happy, and thank you, chat, for actually not buying onto that thumbnail. It was actually a kindness. We have a policy where we cover new games, and when a new game does a what we call a hot drop, where it just sort of drops out of nowhere, we hate that. Genuinely. Genuinely. How do you feel about that, chat? Do you like it? Do you like when the games just randomly drop out of the sky and like, hello, I'm a video game, play me, and you're
No.
like, get out of here. Get out of You're kind of welcome around here. Well, I enjoyed Oblivion. That was kind of my experience with Oblivion. It was like, thanks for just dropping away.
You oblivioned, and now you're all oblivioned out until the game gets. And the game will never get.
God damn it, I love my dev team so much, but I fucking hate them at the same time. You all can't sacrifice stuff. You guys have to look after yourself. You guys have to look. I'll handle that. Alright, we'll worry about that later. There's some development stuff happening. Good stuff. Appreciate it. But one of those things where it's like, God damn it. Every goddamn time. Honestly, it's difficult to handle. So let's not worry about it. Let's not think about it. So, sacrifice the keep instead. How much does config need to remain active? Ask Gregors.
Doesn't it need to be funded?
Gibbs was generous and said if they get it halfway, he'll extend it. For how
Yes.
long will he extend it?
A whole friggin' month. I really shouldn't.
Friggin'.
It should just be
Should-
today.
You should actually cut it so that they have to do it today.
Yeah, we do need
Or-
to
270.
But at the same time, I'm not gonna
270 to get halfway.
I'm not gonna be that unreasonable.
You should be unreasonable. You've been reasonable long enough.
You're probably right.
No idea, says Yinless.
But at the same time,
No, it doesn't look.
I just have a weakness for my little champ.
You should hurt the chap. Make them feel sad about their lives.
I think we should kill Reguline.
Make them
Nice.
cry. I want to see them cry.
No, I already know how to make
Me.
you cry.
Ah,
You want to
Fuzzy.
know how I would make you
Good.
cry?
Because we're gonna wrap up the stream if you didn't get back. So what's your subject, Fuzzums?
Oh, since that was a $70 price tag, I decided to let's laugh at Ubisoft because we got some data.
Him and his
And,
statistics,
that
chat.
Steam post sums it.
Don't go ahead.
Get
That's
out.
Steam-
Hold on.
that's
Gibbs
Steam-
needs to get
that's-
Open Clip Studio so you can start drawing again.
Oh no, we're not doing that today. Fuzzy explaining that only made
Yeah,
that a
the same-
nightmare. Only made that a nightmare. Go ahead. Which link do I click on?
But
Which
yeah.
link? Fuzzy!
The Steam community post. It sums it up and also has a link to the analytics firm that gathered the data. So you, if you want to see the sources, there's two sources. One for the Steam and PS5 sales. Another one for Xbox. PS5 super majority, 1.7 million copies over 2 months. Steam, I was gonna say Steam. 367,000 copies sold in the first 2 weeks in a sharp nosedive. Xbox, no official numbers, but let's be generous and just add it to the 367 number, which means over 2 months, something like 2.4 million copies or something like that. Over the 2 months, which is atrocious.
For
And
these
net
kinds of games,
bookings down 20%. Operating income, well, negative and more negative in negative numbers. The stock plunged 18 to 20% in a single day. I know the Park Page article I posted a little bit above sums it up, but I think I'd rather show chat the hard numbers in an easy to read format.
Source 1 or source 2? Or no?
One leads to PS5 and PC sales. Another open both of them. One leads to a separate sales number.
Okay.
Link 1, Yeah, link 1 is Steam and PlayStation units sold, and if you just do the search function and search Shadows, yeah. Yeah, it's March 25th. Yeah, 2.6 million copies sold, more than doubled the Assassin's Creed Shadows numbers. You're seeing all these games sell a lot more than Shadows. And a large part of that's a $70 price tag. Shadows is just too expensive for what they sell, and that's on top of the microtransactions they force on you also.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's right. The game has that.
Shadows didn't. Remember, it's $70 for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and what do you get? Microtransactions and all the other deluxe edition nonsense. What is the result? Less money.
Yep.
And this was supposed to somehow save Ubisoft. Nope, this was a negative. It's like if you think if you think Shadows is going to cover even the development costs, I have serious doubts. Maybe break even in a few more months, but that's a long time and a lot of operating with just to break even on one game to hold up an entire publisher that used to be one of the big giants. It is just another casualty. It's like, yeah, another promising franchise that could have been saved if it just lowered the price and would have made more money. Very few games that in the $70 price tag have been able to get away with it. Monster Hunter Wilds is one of those. Shadows is not one of them. And we have the cold hard data to actually back that up. Now, what's most surprising is that Steam sales, 367 copies, is atrocious. Steam is by far the largest gaming platform with access to the largest player base. And as we saw, when you put that $70 price tag to other games in the market for comparison, because people can easily search, okay, what can I get instead of this? What happens? Ubisoft is actually not as strong as they like to think they are, and Shadows is, when put up against, say, even Helldivers 2 and other games that people can spend their money on, that $70 price tag is actually scaring a lot of people away that have other options. So you combine this and Doom Eternal, it is clear that AAA may suffer a serious blow if they continue raising the prices. Well, correction, once they raise the prices. Can you imagine if, say, Shadows was $80? I think it would have done a lot worse.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
It is
But also,
immensely amusing to me how
Go ahead.
few people seem to understand. You charge a lower price, more people will buy it, and then you make more money. It's a simple concept that a lot of people don't understand.
That's why I said it reminds me of Blockbuster, because they did the exact same shit years ago.
Yeah, this is a comment, and I will repeat this at the end of days. This is a common misconception when you understand the statistics, but more importantly, basic economics. When you study the price system, you'd realize that raising prices has more of a knee-jerk effect than a lot of people realize, and you're starting gaming it's gaming's turn, or specifically the current big publisher's turn, to face this cold hard reality.
Aerith looks sleepy.
Oh, this is because I'm posturing. Neck hurts.
You think that's because I'm sleepy? I am. Cube.
You had a donation.
We did. Let's take a squeak peek at it. Jano donates 25 Polish bucks and says, breed Squealy Line instead. He's all up and ready for it. And BHSF it show. Free show. Thank you for the generous donation. Very much appreciated. We're almost halfway to today's goal. Thanks to all the chatfishes for all the help you've all been doing the entire week. Cassie, Jano Berries, Chumba, I guess.
I think the
No, I'm kidding.
Sadness.
Yeah, and the analytics from Alina, their conclusion was, you can't really say this is a flop, but this is lukewarm and not what Ubisoft needs. And especially when you come off the growing success of Origins to Odyssey, to Valhalla, where you really saw that numbers go up. This is just a straight flat or actually downhill, where Assassin's Creed is losing steam, you could argue. These numbers are really not good.
Yep, it's falling behind the wayside. What I find really interesting is that you see Anno 1800 right there at 859k. Anno 1800 is a really good game, by the way. I'm surprised it's that high.
Yeah, this is a niche genre, unfortunately. But though Anno has been out for a long time, so that might just be current year sales.
Mm-hmm. Well, it did come back to Steam. Remember, it had an Epic Ubisoft exclusivity. With Ubisoft stuff, and so a lot of people didn't want to buy it because they didn't want to go to Uplay. And then they finally begrudgingly put Anno 1800 where people wanted it. So while it is a niche game, they can finally go and buy it.
Yeah, and we've actually seen sales examples of this. Even if we don't have the data, the developers came out and outright said, if you release it on Epic, you're not going to make as much money, except for a select few cases like Hades. The general rule is, if you release it on Epic, you're going to die. You're going to die out in the market. You're going to be unknown, shoved in the shadows, and when you come back to Steam, people are just going to forget you exist, and you're not going to make nearly as much money.
You're going to be overshadowed and forgotten.
Yeah, because there are going to be other releases.
People would say, "Oh yeah, that game."
Yeah, because you're going to be competing with a lot of other titles that people are going to be eyeing, and you're just the one that's lost its chance in the limelight. And with Steam, you need that good first impression, and if you bury that first impression by, say, taking an Epic exclusive, well, you lost your time. And now that gigantic PC market is just going to shove you away, even if they don't want to. It's unfortunate truth.
That's true, and it's sad. Sad to see, sad to hear. But at the same time, it's one of the things that's coming. But
yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, one another example. Who here knew that the Kingdom Hearts games are on Steam?
I did. I saw it and was like, okay. Okay. Not super big on the Kingdom Hearts stuff, so I didn't care too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying as an example, as that's one of those games that kind of got sidelined because it took the Epic exclusive and people forgot about it.
Which is funny, despite its major popularity throughout gaming, just completely forgotten.
Which goes to show just the competitiveness of the Steam marketplace. That when you put these big budget titles next to other games with less budget but a lot more passion due to a lot of talent going to AA and indies, you're finding that people are willing to give those other games more of a shot instead of the big AAAs. Yeah. Obviously, there are exceptions like Call of Duty, but that's the live service outlier. Sizable outlier, but still a big one nonetheless.
What happened in Stardew Valley that it's up there again?
I don't know.
Stardew Valley is one of those indie. Oh, let me zoom in. It's one of those indie cult classics that just, like Factorio, just has its big following.
Yep, it's one of those big ones. Stardew Valley
also
basically
sales.
peaked. So the big thing to understand with Stardew Valley is Stardew Valley not only is one of those cult classics, indies, just like Terraria, where they're just around and they're going to be around forever. But Stardew Valley has a unique case where it actually appeals, surprisingly, to the female audience of gamers quite a bit. Because if you know anything about female gamers and what they usually prefer in terms of gaming or what their style of games are, they like sort of like cultivation, stuff like that. Surprisingly, Harvest Moon was one of the big ones.
Like farming sims and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that's the big thing with Stardew Valley is it's took Harvest Moon and improved on it,
Yep.
and it was the first real one to come to PC.
Yep, versus everything else required, them to have a... Because one of the girls I dated way back when, she had it on her Wii, and it was like a fucking... or was it Wii? And GameCube, I can't remember. Either way, she was like super into that style of game. And a lot of girls I knew were super into it. Like, World of Warcraft appeals to women. Like, Harvest Moon appeals to women. They have a certain peculiar taste when it comes to certain games, or Sims. Those are games that definitely appeal to them a lot more.
But yeah, it pretty much brought that genre to PC.
Yep.
Because now you see all these games basically mimicking it.
Because it was a complete unsaturated market content-wise. There was no games for it.
Yeah. And if we're talking about indies competing with, say, Ubisoft and Shadows, look at Schedule 1, 2.4 million copies. Assassin's Creed Shadows, 367,000. You put them right next to each other, what do people go do? They go to growing the pot and game.
Yep, Schedule 1. What's a drug simulator for like underground criminal operations? Which is a really novel concept for a video game, yeah.
And I don't know what that one on the left is. That's
Repo. Repo is basically what sort of eclipsed that other game.
The funny thing, I know the exact game you're talking about, but I forget its name.
You know what it is, Toomba.
Furry one. well, furry devs.
Furry.
Doesn't narrow it down.
Lethal Company.
Lethal Company. Yep.
Yeah, Lethal Company.
Yeah.
Repo Eclipse Lethal Company.
Yeah, well, Lethal Company had a bunch of questionable design choices. As you recall, we had to mod it to get it to actually be a good resolution.
Yep. Repo is basically a studio that, if I remember right, was like desperate for a win, and then just slapped this thing together, and then bam. So good on them, they managed to survive. Because I heard they were going like tits up if they didn't make it. But Repos turned out to be like a massive success on the level of I don't know, it's like 8.7 million, but it's definitely up there. It's one of the things we don't talk about often because it's not really in our sphere of influence, but or sphere of interest, not influence, retarded. But it's up there with like Among Us. It doesn't have the accessibility that Among Us did because of how simple it was and you could play it on your phone and stuff. But it's definitely up there. 8.7 million is nothing to sneeze at. That's huge. That's actually huge.
Yeah. So yeah, $70. Doing the indie sphere justice.
Yes, Chet. You will start adopting my terminology. Even Little Fuzzy is using indie sphere. Good. It's
So,
just
I
factual.
just
was always
saw-
a business term.
I just saw a new thing with Bungie in the whole marathon fiasco.
What's
Oh
that?
goody. Oh bad.
So I just posted. So
Remember
the
it.
it's art showing the character models, which once again is just blatant rip. Like the design is like, but the tweet is saying that there has been new info that just came out that the Bungie leadership ignored the marathon devs' warning for years about what would work and what wouldn't, and apparently the marathon devs wanted to push more PvE, and Bungie leadership said no.
This is a common thing of disconnect
make it
between
PvP battle royale extraction.
So the marathon devs actually were aware of what the viewer base probably wanted for this game. That's actually
At least to an extent, yeah.
That's breaking actually, because that shows that the developers had a better understanding of what people wanted. They wanted to make a PvE focused game, which makes much more sense for Marathon, but were actually shut down by executives from the sounds of it.
It's so what I'm thinking with the Marathon team is the art and like environment design team are a bunch of scum who just stole our art assets. But the people actually working on the core of the game, the actual gameplay and mechanics, wanted it to be completely different.
That's how it sounded like.
Sounds like
that's pretty
So
common
just
in
a
indie
complete
ruin.
shit show of a dev team, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's one thing to have some of the developers out of touch, but leadership can correct that. If leadership is out of touch, you're screwed.
Mm-hmm. Night, Gregors.
Later.
Gotta go, Dio. Goodbye.
So,
Kick your
Marathon's gonna be is a shit show already.
So
It's not even out
basically,
yet.
it starting to sound a little bit like a repeat of Dead Space 3, where the developers at Visceral Games wanted to make another Dead Space game, but EA was like, no, you will make it a co-op shooter because co-op shooters are in right now. And like, okay. It's like when EA did
at
that
least
with Westwood,
mechanically.
by the way. You want to hear something incredibly funny where this has happened again? EA, yet again. They did that with Westwood when it came to making Renegade, which was a sort of like arena-style shooter with like bases and capture the flag, sort of like Unreal Tournament.
I admittedly loved Renegade campaign.
I know, but what's funny about that is that Westwood was like, we make real-time strategy games. We don't have experience making.
It's a
shooters.
mess of a game.
Like, you can tell that they tried their damnedest, but that's one disconnect I'll see between Marathon and this, by the way. So in the case of Westwood, when they made Renegade, tried to make it as much of a love letter to Command & Conquer as possible. And the reason why Renegade has a cult following and still has an active modding community and is still liked, despite the fact that it's a bad shooter, is because the developers tried. And they tried really hard. And they were very passionate about it because they cared about the setting. This, unfortunately, despite the fact that they wanted to make a PvE game, and that's a much smarter move, this doesn't look like Marathon still. It's like they didn't even try. Dead Space 3, despite the fact that they were forced to make a co-op shooter, did their best to try to reference basically the inspirations of what made Dead Space great, because Dead Space 3 has a great section on Tau of Atlantis that's basically like this giant love letter to the Thing. It's just a massive section basically referencing the Thing, but in a passionate and loving way. That's what I appreciate about it, not plagiaristic. It's good shit. Despite the fact
they
that those
linked
games
the
are
article
weird.
to it if you wanted to scroll through it.
This one?
Hmm?
Bucket fishing. Marathon just looks like one of those artsy games that is artsy for the sake of being artsy and doesn't have any unique individuality.
That's because it doesn't have unique individuality. It's all
stolen.
stolen
Yeah.
art. And it's going to be supposedly $40 on launch. PvP only.
PvP only? Yeah, disinterested. Now the price tag, I have something nice to say about Marathon, chat. Holy shit. It's reasonably priced at $40. Good job. You fucked up everything else, but you did that right, so good job. Good job. 10 out of 10. Woo, they did something right, chat. Holy shit. We have something nice to say.
I'm reading it. Apparently the devs have been raising concerns about it for 5 years.
Yeah, so the developers are
Oh my
like,
God.
this shouldn't be a PvP game, it should be a PvE
This
game.
doesn't work. Like, this isn't going to work. Yeah, game needs a PvE, but Bungie leadership prescribed it.
This game is a PvE game. Like
Yeah, they just
Marathon
brushed
always
off.
was, yeah. Well, to the credit of those developers who tried to warn them, they did everything they could in that regard. That's not the point, Ragnarok. It's not about it being worth $1. It's at least they fucking priced it reasonably.
A quote from Marathon game director Joe Zweigler is, "I think if you are only looking for PvE experiences, definitely Marathon is not the game for you. It's not a game for everybody. It's a game for if you like PvP experiences, especially in sandbox spaces." So
We already are oversaturated with those, and a lot of them failed.
Yep, that market's oversaturated. So unless this is like really riveting, right? To the point where it's like it really just nails the execution down well, it's entering an oversaturated market that has
the only good thing
pre-established
I've
fan
heard about it
bases.
from the tests is I have heard people saying that the gunplay felt good.
Yeah,
But that's it.
Gunplay.
the big thing is the gunplay. Yeah, that's true. Like Reggie's right. But to credit where credit is due, right? Even though it is the Destiny gunplay, the gunplay from the visuals and the trailer looked actually somewhat solid. But again, is that enough? We'll find out. We'll find-
It doesn't matter how good a gunplay is. They're like, oh, I really like this gun. It's extraction. Like you're looting your equipment as you go. So hope you get the guns you like.
I love orangey gunplay. Just, whoop.
Don't forget it'll be color coded. This one's rare.
It's like Chinese assault rifles. The bullets spin in the air, so they do more damage. It's like, whoop.
Yeah.
No.
I am immensely amused at Target, like
Some
pictures of
bullets are-
targets after Chinese soldiers do training. It's like, why are all the holes like
Bullet
clearly
shape.
sideways and
Yes.
bullet shape?
It's because the bullets tumble through the air, and so they're like, yeah, that makes them stronger and more powerful because they're less predictable. It's like,
Like,
Those,
these
why?
guns are terrible. What the hell? How?
They
How are
just
they this bad?
Spin around, okay, like woo, curve
Like,
the
you know-
bullet, curve the.
You know the most common way to get guns is just from European manufacturers. Why don't you just import them? No, China number one.
Listen,
I
Focus, I'm
figured it
trying
out.
to
I
take-
figured it out.
I'm trying to get games down to $40. That's reasonable for you guys. Come on, I'm trying to help you.
I figured out Chinese guns. They decided that instead of being stupid Westerners and shooting at only half the bullet, they're gonna fire the whole bullet at the enemy. So they use springs and smooth barrels. Just launch the bullet and the cartridge at the enemy.
Ancient Chinese bullet bending a technique. You mean Reiki? It's called keyholing. Barrel is way too wide. Chatfish. In a nutshell. Gonna pray. Gonna pray. Terrible chat. You're bad little fishies. That's what you are. Bad little chatfishies. I always knew it.
By firing the whole bullet, you're firing 60% more bullet per bullet. Dave Johnson here.
Jesus Louise's chat bros. What has chat become? My Swedish fish? Swedish fish. Like candy. Just like, wow, candy fish.
I had them a couple months back.
I like Swedish fish. They're nice.
You gotta shove all the whole bag in your mouth. That's the way to eat them.
That is the way to eat them. You eat them in big chunks. It should just be one solid chunk of gummy.
I
then you
swear I
get
saw at one point
diabetes.
like large Swedish fish. Instead of like a bag of small ones, it's just a single large one.
There was a candy store in the mall that sold Green Army Men candy gummies. Those were amazing. They were like Green Army Men shaped
Kibbs,
Candymen. What?
Those weren't candy.
Say plastic.
You just ate plastic. I'm sorry to tell you.
That's good plastic. Now that's good badger milk.
Next, he'll tell him he can't eat Tide Pods.
They're like candy.
Cleans out his insides.
My organs. Like they're failing. I had Finsko once, says Nick, angrily. Can always blow up a single dam. Can always blow up. Chatfish, what are we doing? Chatfish like, we're on a suicide trip. We're on a suicide.
Okay, why am I fat? Also, Kib.
I just said I would
shove them all
like
in your
to
mouth.
have them. I don't have any Swedish candies, and I haven't had candies in a good while. Last time I had candy was because my mom got me a little... Oh, no. It was not my mom that time. It was my stepmom. She got me an Easter basket full of candy and stuff, which was very nice.
The last time you had candy was when you were eating sour candies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Which you owe
A great deal,
18
I don't know about that.
to be precise.
You can always a little more chat.
and 516 to fit Kibbs.
Okay. Gibb sounds like he needs a sour candy. Shut the fuck up, Dad. Shut the fuck up.
I
It
agree.
does sound like
You
that.
should eat sour candy.
You love sour candy.
I think I hate all of you.
See, he's smiling.
Just because I'm smiling doesn't mean I'm happy on the inside. I'm smiling on the outside and crying on the inside. Now see?
You're a terrible liar with that face. There.
Brown
Better.
looks at Fuzzy.
That's the fuzzy. Can't help it if I'm perpetually smiley. My head itches. Alright, so, chatfishes. I think that's all of the Bunchcast stuff sorted. Is there any topics that chat would like us to cover before we wrap up for the day? Also, our poll. We can finally check it and see what Chatfish said. Alright, let's see. Let's see what the results are. 97%, 107 Chatfish voted. Very good viewer.
I was
or
about to say,
votes.
I
Very
thought
good.
you were about to say 107%, and it's like, that's not how math works.
107 chat voted. 97% of you think that $70 is too much. Wait for a sale. While 2% is fine with that. And we know one of you accidentally misclicked. So
I
That's-
think he's lying. I think he does genuinely believe it's fine.
Gibbs, we must lore dump. There is some new Dune stuff. This is true. Tell you what, Cassie, DM Chumba the article and then he'll post it in the chat. Yes. We should
While
set
he
up-
does that, Vulpus has been a member for 45 months as a disciple of Squack. How's your neck doing, by the way, Kibbles?
Nope, not good. I turned it.
Is Vulpus gonna have to make a doctor's visit?
I turned it and it hurted. It hurted.
Don't forget, Vulpus, you can put that towards tanks.
You see, he brought it up, and so I tried turning my head right, and that did not work. So what I've been doing, chat, you might notice that Aerith's head might look like it's moving, and it is moving. It's my head moving, right? But what I'm actually doing is I'm actually turning my chair to look at the monitor to the right, which is where chat is over there. The monitor on the left also tracks donations and also has my little display over there, so I can see if there's anything going wrong. Yeah, and OBS is over there on the right there.
Being the virgin fat guy in the floaty chair. We need to get him to that fat harness.
Wow.
He can be the Chad.
So yeah, that's what I've taken to doing, because turning my head is quite painful. Shouldn't have done that, but I was curious and I wanted to see if it did hurt. And yes, it does still hurt.
Good man. Vulpus puts his membership milestone to Harkonnen.
Conan securing the lead.
Harkonnen,
I'm actually genuinely
Harkonnen.
surprised. See, Chumba, you've done a good job building alliances. Team Atreides, like, you had a massive lead. If you just did cock block Chumba, all you need to do is cock block him.
I have subverted Kib's expectations.
You guys have to coordinate. I can't believe, oh my god, he's gonna actually steal the victory away somehow. I'm actually impressed.
We will have that oily Aerith.
Elements, by the way.
Mr. Personality donates $50 and says Bane and sour candy. Wow. Yay,
I'd
sour
rather
piece of candy.
No, but he's not partaking in the war.
Looking for the candy. Do you want to partake in the Atreides Harkonnen war? Would you like to help Team Atreides, who is now losing, or would you like to double down on Team Harkonnen? You have a spare hashtag, which you may use.
I will remind people, English is for Harkonnen. Do you want to support English?
Says former Gus.
That sounds like gaslighting, Ghost.
You mean gaslighting?
Pretty sure Yinlis was always meant for Atreides.
Kasovic, I wanted to ask. Oh, I think I missed it, but did Hans ever choose what to do with my $10 donation? Asked Kasovic.
Yes.
All right, well, answer.
He put
what
it to Free Indio.
Okay, Free Indio. Wow, freeing Indio? Aren't you generous? To be fair, he did
His
a great
personality
job
says
on
evil.
the lewd RE5 thumbnail. Art. Evil. Okay,
Does
that'd
that
be
mean
House
he wants it to
Harkonnen.
go?
I want to
Without
help
a
good
doubt.
people. Because everyone knows what India really wants to draw.
I will say his RE5 art's pretty good, champ. It's pretty good. Just wow, titties and vagine. Bob's and vagine.
It's like, what are the characters wearing? No, they're wearing nothing.
Yeah, that's the NSFW version, which is not funded. I won't be able to post it, chat. I guess it will die in obscurity. That's okay. Maybe Chatfish are pure Catholic fish now. Like, Dummy deep.
You have a point,
Dummy
Ghost.
deep.
Atreides does have the better propaganda. They're much better at lying than the Harkonnens.
Chumba should have said, from my point of view, the Atreides are evil.
Is it really a lie if they win?
That's a
I
good
mean,
question.
I would point out the Atreides don't win. It's the Fremen.
I mean, technically the Atreides do win in the end.
When basically the entire house is wiped out except a handful of people, is that really winning? The Harkonnen are still around.
Did
I
Cassie
was going to
DM
say,
you?
let's look
Cassie
at what
DM
happened
you?
to House
Didn't DM you,
Harkonnen
did he?
They're still around.
versus
He
House
didn't DM me.
Atreides.
Harkonnen's still around.
Okay,
L'Oreal. Donates 20 North Koreans. Down with gay Atreides. Go Chumba and Harkonnen.
Cheeks. Worm.
so I want to put it to you this way: one of them sits on the throne of the Imperium of Man. The other one is hiding because they're going to be slaughtered if they come out in public.
Yeah, because of the Fremen. It wasn't because of the Atreides, it's because of the Fremen. The Fremen
So
are the true victors.
So who eats the Fremen? That's what I fucking
A
thought.
false prophet.
Yeah, false prophet. Look at how mad he is. Hands, good, well played. You walked him into that. Chumba
Actually,
fell
though,
into
who
it.
leads the Atreides? A grandson of Harkonnen.
Oh, look at this fucking
So if you're gonna go off that, whose bloodline is more in Paul?
Given that, which bloodline takes more? Is he influenced by more? His mother's or his father's?
I mean, he definitely respects his father's side a lot more.
But he only really became what he was because of the mother.
Only because the father had to die, and the entire reason is because of what happened to his father.
We're getting philosophical. Yeah, because they're jousting, chat. This is funny.
Technically, Hans, he only got his powers because of the mother, though. So the Harkonnen genes are stronger.
That's literally just because she was a woman, though.
And
And he says,
your question was, which side does he take after more? And it's clearly the Harkonnens' genes are the stronger.
I don't
In
know
what
if
way
I-
are they stronger? Like,
Literally, because of the Harkonnen genes, he became the,
The thing
the
is, though,
Kuzakadara.
in order for him,
you know, the thing.
I was trying to remember the actual term.
Messiah.
He got his mother
I mean,
because his
no.
mother didn't follow the Bene Gesserit parents. Just like
Yeah,
that.
just like the Harkonnen. So literally, Harkonnen
Just
win.
like the Harkonnen. You know who else would follow the Bene Gesserit plan? The Harkonnen.
Chatfish are now Dune. They're Duning. I'm gonna Dune. Dune's actually really awesome, chat. It's a pretty cool series. How do you feel about that, chat? Like, we feel like it's fishy Dune. Well, I guess we could talk about Dune Awakening but for a moment, because it seems to be a subject that chatfishes are very much interested in.
We were looking at upcoming stuff. If you could just talk about it. Well, you sent me a video the other day.
Did I? About Dune Awakening?
Yeah, I'll post it again. Let me bring up the DMs and I'll post it in the chat. Now, what Kasvik was mentioning sounded like it was different. It's in the chat, in the YouTube clip.
That's somebody else's god, Dad.
Huge news.
That's what you sent
right
me.
there.
I'm just saying we could talk about it. Don't have to play it.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead and talk about it. Because I don't want to rip other people's things. That's just rude.
Yeah. So I only skimmed it, and the main thing I took away from it was that we are going to get private servers. It's not necessarily on launch.
Hmm.
And that is open at the first step to allowing offline play. If you could host your own little server, it's just one step away from just be able to play it offline. Or just do a LAN.
I imagine in the future they will do an offline mode. They should. Just like Helldivers 2 should have an offline mode. Somehow. It should, because that way you can play it in case you don't have internet connection. I don't know how that works. Never lost internet connection while playing it. Hopefully I don't. Now that I said that. Hopefully not.
So there was that. There did confirm the other vehicles. They were saw gameplay of the Ornithopters flying around, which looked actually really good. The biggest concern still is that they need to polish up the combat a bit, which as far as I'm aware, the developers are aware and are going to try to
Both the gunplay
polish that up.
and the melee combat. The Funcom actually has been pretty responsive on that.
Yes, they actually are responding pretty well to community and actually listening to feedback.
I hate the
Case in
name,
point,
though.
they delayed it
Their name.
off the first test.
Yep. They delayed out the first test because they realized they need to rework some things.
And, well, just based off the title of that video, there will be other planets and other large sectors.
Yes. So one thing we know is that there is an expansion where we're going to go to the ice caps of Dune, where we're going to actually go into basically like winter expedition stuff, basically to go fight over the water in the north, which is very important in the Dune universe, if you didn't know.
Yep, the ice barons are definitely a thing.
Yep. So
Or water barons.
we'll be dealing with the water wars, so that'll be interesting. Because that's, I think, the first expansion planned is dealing with the water wars in the north. So going to the polar caps to fight in the ice fields, basically. So that'll be really interesting because that'll really be quite a breakup from what Dune is visually mostly as a planet. They also did mention an interest in other planets as well. So whether or not we'll go and have stuff to do in Gidi Prime or Caladan or Secundus Salusa, whatever you pronounce that word, or any of the other planets, we'll have to wait and see. We also know that they don't want to do expansions that are paid, meaning that they're going to try to make the expansions not paid, if what I read was correct. Which go ahead.
Yeah. As I say, the things I remember hearing and reading about in regards to DLC and expansions, it was going to mostly be cosmetic with some story element stuff, but nothing that's going to give you an edge in
Yep.
any kind of PvP or anything like that.
So the DLC policy that Funcom usually had, just like they did with Conan Exiles, that I think they're going to be doing here in Dune Awakening, is they're going to be making it so that, yeah, you can get different build sets. So you can get an Ix build set if you want to build like an Ix style base. Because right now in the game, there is a Caladan set. The Caladan set is premium. There's an Atreides set, if I remember right, and a Chome set, and then there's a Harkonnen set. And they will do more things. There might be a House Carino, like the Imperial House set for your base, or you can do like Ix or Talaxu or whatever. So they're going to do other sets for buildings, and the building sets will probably also apply to vehicles, because as Kasvik pointed out to us yesterday, that they did reveal the Harkonnen building vehicles, or vehicles. Their vehicles look unique, their ornithopters look unique, just like the Atreides vehicles look unique. Everyone's got unique aesthetics, and so the DLC to fund this game going forward as a live service game, because it is a live service game, will basically to be cosmetic only, and all expansion content is planned to be free. So any sort of like major worlds or whatever, exploration stuff, is not planned to be cut into little pieces. It's planned to be free, from what I know. But all major story elements, quests, dungeons, and all that is planned to be free as well. So yeah.
Now, I do have a concern though.
Go ahead.
Not so much with what they've revealed or shown with the game, because like my main concern was the server thing, and they've already literally said, yeah, there'll be private servers, but probably later.
They're gonna do it down the line after they get
Yeah,
stability.
which is fine. Like I was more concerned if it was even going to be a thing, and yes, it will. So that's my main concern. But the thing I have a concern about is Funcom themselves, because they are owned by Tencent.
That's true. They are owned by Tencent.
So they can say they want to do it a certain way, but they are owned by Tencent, who could come in and be like, no, it has to be this way. And I don't know if they have full creative control of Dune Awakening, or if Tencent has some say in it.
Yeah, well, how much control does Tencent have of Funcom? Is it just like a percentage?
Funcom is a subsidiary of them.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, it
Yeah,
wouldn't
remember
take
that
much.
stream where we talk about Tencent?
Like
Yeah,
Tencent is their
Funcom
parent company,
Yep.
so like they own them.
That's a risk. The big thing is if Tencent meddles, then that's when things are gonna get nasty. Usually when these
Mhm.
big corporations start to meddle, that's when things get ugly. Hence why Marathon is even worse than it probably would have been, because other people above them started to meddle in their affairs, and because they meddled, they pushed it down weird directions because of popularity and stuff like that.
It is possible that they might have, because it does happen, but they might actually have full creative control
And
for
they're
Dune Awakening, as well as the way it does it, and they actually had a good deal with Tencent for Dune Awakening.
for financing, basically, investment.
That's it. That is possible. Funcom themselves being they are a Norwegian company,
Norwegians.
if people are wondering. But because they aren't
FX points for
fully owned
Norway.
by themselves, like they don't own their own company, they're owned by Tencent. Like we don't know what that could mean later down the line. That's just my potential future concern. Because they could make claims of, oh, we're not going to do that, but then Tencent, if they don't have full control of it, Tencent can come in, no, do this because it'll make us money.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That could very well happen. We're gonna have to wait and see when it comes to that.
Yes. Hopefully, fingers crossed. They basically have full oversight of the game.
Yep. Well, I think now that we've talked about pretty much all the subjects, it's now time to do a poll, chat. A poll on what we shall stream next. So I'm going to do a couple things. Knights of the Old Republic is one. Yes. Because we do have to continue to play through that.
We are just over $163 away from the daily chat.
Very good. Made some good progress.
And
today.
since we have been a bit behind this week, that means no community event for today.
Yep, we sadly have to cancel community event. We have to stream
But
something
that does,
proves to
yeah.
be, helpful.
But that means that instead of like Halo, will just be next week if next week goes well.
Yep, we just push it back. No big deal. Happens from time to time, Chatfishies. It happens from time to time. Let's see. We should get through paid requests. Things that people have been waiting for.
Okay, you want me to post the list of ones that have been?
I got it.
Okay.
I remembered. These are 3 things that we should probably continue if there's interest in continuing them. There you go, chat. You may decide the next stream. Just like, wow, and then they slap their little fins on their little phones, like smacking their phone off the table. It's fucking wild. Chat, you don't
Now
have
they
to
cracked
get
the screen.
violent.
Look what they did.
Like, nah, boom, scream.
See, that'll be $100, Chatfish. You just broke the fucking screen.
Wow.
God damn it.
Goobers, you little goobers. Let's see what Chatfish.
Out of curiosity,
Go
when is the plan for the near fishing?
The near fishing stream is planned to be soon. TM. It's really just making sure I get through everything. You say tomorrow?
No. I was joking, but it'd be fun.
That sounds like Regulan's offering to be there for the whole thing.
Okay,
I
that's
have
pretty
work
cool.
on Monday.
Sounds like Regulan's working from home.
Fishing. Do we want to do the fishing stream tomorrow, chat?
Do you? Chat.
I feel like Chatfish won't donate a cent if I do the fishing stream. I feel like the fishing stream is
Kim can go to
suicide. I feel like this fishing stream is a suicide day. Nobody's gonna show up. They funded it, so I'd sit there by myself. Is what it always feels like.
No,
That's
darn,
what
he's
they're
figured
gonna
out the
do.
plan, chat.
They're like, ha ha ha.
Imagine this, Gibbs.
I guess we all have to change it then to subvert his expectations.
What a luxury. Hashtag Harkonnen. Thank you for the donation. $3.07 from Little Markfish.
Why
Puts a little
7
marker
cents?
on his fin. He's like, why?
Because what he does, it's what he do.
Yeah, he's
He
different.
wanted it to be a full number. That's why.
Oh my
Because
god.
Harkonnen's 1032.
I think you do.
Oh god. You guys are kind of autistic, you know that? Jesus Christ, I didn't even think about that.
Last time Mark
I didn't
donated, he
even
got up
think
to
of-
Harkonnen was a cent ahead of Arturides, which is just, honestly, great job, Mark. That just was beautiful.
Chat, I feel like you guys are a bit tismic. I'm starting to
Bucky
find
can
tism.
learn something
Just
from you,
ultimate
Chatfish.
spite to Arturides, just a cent more.
Only Bucky can save the
Only-
Atreides? No. Bucky's not going to intervene in this war. This is all up to chat bros.
It's like the guards have abandoned us.
I'll be
Atreides
real
has
with you,
lost
chat.
this war.
I've already called in all the favors I could.
Yeah,
You
no.
always form more favors.
Dude, like, the time to turn this war around is still going on, you little goobers.
Yeah.
So defeatist, I swear to God. Half the time you guys win. Casafix like won every donor war I've ever seen him in. Either that or
I've lost almost everyone I've started.
Yeah, that's true. You actually you have the biggest lose ratio.
Yeah.
How's that make you feel, chat? Like, oh, we feel pretty good about beating Choomba to death.
That's my point. Is a sigh of Harkonnen shall win. Big brain plays Kasovic.
My forehead itches. So far, currently, Knights of the Old Republic 2 is in the lead. All right. The poll will close in 60 seconds. Go ahead and vote. This is not really a dono poll. Mostly because I just want to play one of the games you guys funded and just see which one you guys have the highest interest in. My nose tingles. Trepish, help me, help me, help me. Oh, there's these.
E-Ghost, your gaslighting was proved to be a lie.
Remember, Harkonnens don't shower, don't get cheeks, and are stinky. If you want cheeks, vote Atreides today.
And then Yinlis, which Ghost proclaimed was going for Harkonnen, and that's why you shouldn't go for them. Says, for House Atreides, chat. I think former Ghost is employed by the Atreides Propaganda Corps.
Propaganda Corps. Chatfish is you're such. I don't know why I find that so funny. Chatfish, I'm gonna destroy Florial instead. He's like, Florial, and just screams, and then Florial died. And then that'll teach Florial to breathe oxygen, little shit. That'll teach. That's true. He won't breathe no more. I'm finding myself a little bit too funny. I feel like a little lightheaded. Maybe it's because I haven't had food. I will eat before next stream. I tell you what, I will do that, chat. I will do that at the very least. And if I don't, then Florio will die. He's like, eep.
Gaty Prime has best cheek or best peach. Says Mark.
What? Gaty Prime has best cheeks? You think Aerith will look better dressed up as a Gaty Prime slot?
Toilet.
Or a tradie slot? You say toilet?
Harlot gifts a membership.
Thank you for the gift of membership.
He
And
plays a
Super
little
Earth
bit.
Transmission received it. Well, just in, Chatfish. Super Earth Transmission is now a member. Super Earth is now sponsoring Curb. I always knew it. I'm their strongest warrior. That's why. I knew it. I'm just gonna start boasting now. I'm gonna start.
I feel
Doesn't
that-
hit
I fear that
Hugo
I will lose
Fugi,
it
though.
soon.
You were gonna lose it? Lose what?
1 second.
What? Are you talking to me? Are you talking to us? Are you okay? Squealing? What's going on?
Okay, there you go. Look in chat.
Oh, you gotta read that. Come on.
Go on, Reguline, read it.
Oh, did I read it?
Read it. Remember about the-
Reguline says, him rapier, wee woo.
No, say it right. You said me. You gotta say. Now say it louder. Louder. Come on. It'll help make the daily goal. Right, chat?
No.
Read it louder.
Very clearly, by the way.
Help us make the daily goal. We all gotta do our part. Come on, Rapier. Chat
Me
does their part.
rapier, wee woo.
No, I talk. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll be quiet now. Go ahead.
I don't know. He doesn't even pay for it. I've read it twice now. He doesn't deserve it.
Come on, Rapier.
Come on, I gotta add up Harlot's donations. You wouldn't want Harlot's donations to not be counted now, would you?
How about you?
Now,
just-
chat, there is a bounty for Hugo Fugi. By the way.
There is. Now quit changing the subject. Now read.
Reguline has been a member for 33 months as a Bubba cultist that he doesn't pay for himself. Me rapier, wee woo.
It was far funnier than I thought, and it made it better because he was fighting it. Wee woo.
Fuck you,
Clip
Rapier.
it. Clip it. Me rapier.
You have no power
Wee
over
woo.
me, Reguline.
Put it.
Wee woo.
Put it. Oh my god! I gotta pee all of a sudden. What the fuck? Put it in the chat. Put chat. Clip it, and then we'll put it into the soundboard. Me rapier. Wee woo. We should make that the sound effect every time he joins. Not every time he joins. Go on. I have a genius idea. We should see if we can code the overlay to play sound effects anytime somebody joins a stream. So whenever it shows up, like Rapier shows up, it's like, me Rapier, wee woo.
Hold on a sec. Former Ghost, I will point out there's a flaw in your logic there. If Floral was trying to was a friend of Eanless and trying to help him out, he'd be funding Kona's fic.
That's true. Florial's all bark and no bite.
He's
Floral.
not. So there's a flaw in your logic of they're working together.
Yeah,
Clearly
no.
not.
Clearly they're enemies with each other.
Whoever clips it, make it an MP3 so we can make it a notification on someone's phone. Make that Rapier's phone.
You guys are monsters. But you know
You
what?
have
You're my
you have
monsters.
like $600 in the fucking Punish Guest Fund gives. You can do that if you wanted to.
I deleted that. Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah. That's been sitting there for too long.
Okay,
That shouldn't
okay.
be used at this point.
Well, I can use it to make you say
Wait,
things.
no, he's only saying that because He doesn't want.
No, legitimately, I think that.
That's not.
Wait,
What is
wait,
this? Look at
I
this
don't-
tyranny chat. This is tyranny. Help! Save me! My guests are mean. I'm just a little kid. I'm just trying.
I will
to
point out,
make
Kib,
it.
you wanted to save that up to punish Squealy when he showed back up,
Yeah, but like now I
and you
want to punish.
and then you forgot about it.
Now I want to punish like anyone arbitrarily for no reason. I think that's a fair reason. What's wrong? You don't want to be punished? I think you do. I think you want to be punished by me. Yeah. I don't know.
You're so fucking smug. On
Be
the,
mean
on,
to
on the
Kib. Kib
model.
refuses
I'm
to
like
give
leaning
cheeks.
back a little bit, but like my head, if I turn my head, like I'm gonna be in pain. So this is now like where I am because it was painful to get it in this position. It was. Now my head is permanently cranked like backwards a little. Help. I'm not smug. I'm in pain.
See, now he's just trying to prove you right, former ghost.
You can't add it to shots for fishing stream. The fishing stream isn't. Well, yeah, it is going to be a drunk stream. I forgot. But I'll do it on a day you don't have money, so that way I don't have to drink. That way I don't have to drink.
By you saying that, former ghost, you got him, gave him ideas, so now he's gonna be, oh, I'll say go for our Conan, so that way it loses, because that's what you're saying.
Anyone ever? Has anyone clipped it yet? No, they have not yet.
Chatfish, you're not doing your job, Chatfish. If you don't do your job, I will kill Yinglis. He's like, Yinglis will die. You will die. I'm just remembering YouTube poops now from memes long ago, spoken in ancient tongues long since past.
Gibbs, I paid off my car. Well done, Kasovic. I have more
Congratulations.
money, and I'll make you drink till you pass out.
Ha! You little shits. You're gonna try to make me puke again, you little bastards? Last time you did
What do you
that,
mean
that
try?
was pain. Oh my god. If Chatfish have lots of money, I can always tell. Whenever we do a drunk stream, I'll either wake up the next day, or not wake up the next day. I always wake up fine. I'll either in the stream and crawl into my bed and be like, happy sleepies. Or I'll be in the bathroom going, "Bleh," as I just projectile vomit. Projectile vomit means we had a good day.
Then Chet gets to play the game.
Projectile vomit means we
Kids
had a
or an
good day.
elite.
But it
It's
also
not
means
giving ideas, it's pointing out what's going on.
I'm also not particularly happy about that part. But if that's what it takes to fund
Nope.
my dream, and I have to projectile vomit once in a while, then so be it. Everyone on the team owes me more than anything else. A, I hate alcohol.
How
B, I hate vomiting.
Remember
how
when you
like
vomit,
the
you have to go
Atreides,
bladder.
former ghost, you start a smear campaign, and then when it starts to go against you, you start to accuse the other side of gaslighting.
Wow, look at him. He's just like,
Typical gaslight fish interaction.
typical chat bros. Always
The Harkonnen have always been honest. They tell you that they will stab you in the
Right.
back once you're
I've let everyone
no
vote.
longer of use.
We're gonna play some Knights of the Old Republic 2. I'm gonna make some dinner, though. Dinner, because I'm fucking hungry. But chat, in Knights...
I need to also make dinner.
Oh, that hurt.
Thank you. Thanks. Yes. He hurt himself. Sweet.
Oh, I don't know why I just tried... I just turned my head back to the way it was. Now I feel better. Oh, that hurt, though, to do that. No
You should
longer
take
leaning back
a
on my
hot
chair.
shower, kids. You know that.
I leaned forward to
So-
do that. Oh,
For
a
a
hot
second, I
shower
thought-
will also help with that.
I got
For
to
a second,
cook and then we're gonna stream.
I thought you were
That's
about
what
to
we're
say,
gonna do.
Kibbs, you should just take a hot shit. It's like, what the fuck?
I shower.
That is something Reguline would say.
That's very specific. I don't wanna now.
No, a hot shower typically helps with the body weariness. Helps you relax because of the steam. And the... I like to imagine that the Chatfish, the art piece that comes from this fucking Harkonnen Atreides war, it's just a Harkonnen Chatfish yanking out the heart cord of a Atreides Chatfish.
What the fuck?
It's like,
Oh yes. By the way, the donor war has reached its critical threshold. Thank you for reminding me, Reggie. There will be a small art piece to commemorate this donor war. I always forget about
a small one.
Yep.
Not a big one. Small one.
Oh yeah, because I can't afford to spend billions of dollars on
Everyone
it.
knows you're poor.
I gotta put some of it towards the studio, or the studio artists are gonna look at me like, "I'm hungry." I'm like, "Uh-oh." I know you're hungry, but guess what? I had this funny idea about this funny art piece, and like staring at me, just looking at show as she's just staring angrily.
I'm gonna find it. Hold on.
What if I did have a
See if I
funny
can
art
find it
idea?
quick.
See, I've resisted the urge to do that many times, chat, throughout my entirety of being a streamer. I've resisted the urge not to do something incredibly like funny and draw funny art pieces and have funny art pieces made. You know why, chat? Because I don't want my artist to starve. Because I'm a good person. I had funny ideas and I missed out on those opportunities. Indio, Show, Albine, all of you. You all owe me. Remember this. Remember this when I'm on my deathbed. How much you owe me. Owe me, Master Kib, Lord of Artists. That's true. Artards. Oh my god, that's right. I came up with a nickname for them too today. Artards, because they were being sassy. They're my artards.
Artards.
They're artarded. They're artarded.
I will check that in a second, Blake. I'm looking for something.
Gibbs, Marathon official Discord is banning people talking about the original artists. Oh, for good lord's sake. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Can they stop fucking stepping in it for 5 seconds? Alright, let's see. Anything about it? Punchcast can't end. I can't make dinner. Chip chop. Or you know what? Fuck it. Google.
Alright, I'm posting this in the stream room.
Alright, last fucking subject. I swear to God. Then I'm gonna go get my food.
It's something else.
Oh, okay. Alright, well, apparently Marathon is... Oh, Chumba, he sent it to you. Put him in chat. Put in chat. Here's a fan art that Robert did a while back.
This could be our future, chat. Just saying.
This could be our future. Squeeze! It's Fat Earth. Fat Earth has been seen and spotted in 2 art pieces. One, she's been spotted in our game. If anybody's been ever paying attention to its development, she's in a little box that floats down a river. Yes, Fat. If you spot Aerith, that's one where you see Fat Aerith, and this is the second time she's been spotted. This is the second time she's been spotted.
Welcome to the stream, Kynos. It's at the end.
Yep, you kind of missed it, sadly.
Quick summary. Stalker's coming remastered and coming to console. Bungie is colossally fucking up in many ways. Ubisoft is failing hard. Squealy like Sony.
Noi, as Blake calls it. I'm going to appropriate this term, by the way. Snoy.
You've been banned.
The resemblance is uncanny.
This is from
says
Pirate
Chris
Nation. Pirate Nation says, or Pirate Nation says, Marathon official. Discord is banning anyone mentioning the real artists of the stolen art. Duration permanent. That's funny, but also stupid.
And their proof is they post the Ko-Fi of the artist they stole from.
That's funny. So yeah, they're imploding on themselves. That's funny. All right. Well, we're gonna raid it in the next stream. We'll see you in Knights of the Old Republic chat. And thanks for hanging out. And great job on making it over halfway to today's goal. We will see you in a little bit, and I'll be back with food. So I'll be making food munchy noises. I'm kidding. I won't try to do that. We'll see you in a little bit, chat. Take care and behave. See you soon.
See ya.
Later.
Bye now.